Welcome to another episode of Studio B Sessions with me, Bindra, owner of Bindra Productions here in Orlando, Florida. And we have Mario back on the producer table helping us make this.
Hey guys, one more time. How are you doing?
And today our guest is Adam of AK Studio. Is it Adam K Studio or AK Studio?
Adam K Studio.
Adam
yeah.
K Studio.
Yep.
The same guy you've heard about a lot on this podcast, so we probably don't need any introductions. What do you have to say for yourself? Yeah, I know.
Probably just a bunch of shit talking happening.
Yeah, probably, especially with David's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to get him back. I mean, we'll just get him back in this one then.
So do you want to tell people what you do? I mean, do you do anything?
Yeah, I do. Despite all the videos you take of me not doing anything. I do. I've kind of, started as the freelancer, right? And just making videos, jumping on anybody's sets that I could, learning from everybody else, and have evolved into the video production company side where we'll handle the whole thing. And moved out to Florida 3 years ago. So I don't know. We don't need to get my whole backstory, but I mean,
they can see the last episode. Yeah,
that's where I morphed more into the video production side because I was working directly with clients. And then I didn't know anybody out here, so then I got connected with you guys. And I've been working with you since.
Rest is history. And like I said, you can go watch season 1. We went more deep into that. And what I really liked about your episode last season was you went deep. And that's what I wanted, because I was like, people, talk a lot of stuff, but, it's gate kept. So I really liked your episode last season because we were able to literally break it down on how to network and how to charge, how to make a living, how to grow as a production company. So I feel like it's very beneficial. But I feel like since you gave basically everyone everything you have, why are you back again? You got anything left to give?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on this journey constantly, just trying to figure out what the heck to do with myself every day, basically. It's always something new, had the kid.
You did. So last time you came, you were a new dad. So now your kid's a lot older, right? How old is he now?
Yeah. I had him last time. Yeah, he's 9 months today, actually.
Hello, look at that.
So yeah, I've just been on that
journey. You take
the
9 month picture? Are you doing the sticker and picture or no?
We've been doing that every month. And we still have to do the 9 months. Yeah. We didn't do it today.
I mean, with you as the dad, I mean, come on.
Gotta get some shots.
That's the least you can do, right? That's pretty awesome. How's that changed? I know initially you were obviously not traveling as much. You're trying to spend time with the family. Obviously, that was a while back now. So you're back to travel, right? Back to your regular schedule?
Yeah. Well, actually, the first half of this year, there wasn't as much travel as the first half of last year, but now it's fired back up, and we've kind of got more into the flow in my house of how this all works. But that was definitely like first 6 months were kind of figuring it out, like what is the balance between working and helping take care of the baby, make sure our wife's taken care of. And that's been the journey that I've been on for the past 9 months or so, just figuring that out. And I really like that. I was thinking about on the way here, I was just like, I don't do all this video stuff just because I like it. I do like it. I enjoy it, but I'm trying to create a life, I'm trying to have a life that I enjoy.
Yes.
Most people go to a job that they're miserable at. I don't want to do that. So I'm create my own,
your
journey here. And
you're creating where, not only do you enjoy what you do, right? But then you go home and then you have something to enjoy there too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's just like a fulfilling life. And that's kind of what I want, I mean, everybody wants that, but it takes a little bit of guts to like go out and try it. And now I'm, I push hard to build the video business side of it to be able to sustain that. And now it kind of sustains itself a little bit. There's still a lot of work to do to make it keep functioning, but now, especially with the kid, it's more like, let's work on that part of life too, so that we keep this balance and figure out how they mesh together. And
it's the new phase, right? And it obviously brings new challenges, new things. But I talking about what we were talking about this before we started, but like the conversation I had with David about you is like, I guess you guys were talking how it's like, hey, you guys are so similar, you love the same thing when you work, or maybe even doing stuff for enjoyment or whatever, but when you go home, how different your lifestyle is. Like, he doesn't want the mortgage, the pressures and all that, and you want the to mow the yard and unclog the gutter and all that life that you, and that's okay, to want
I
different
don't know
things.
if I want that.
Are you sure?
I
You
don't want a
seem like the type of
mortgage, but
guy
I
you're
have
happy.
one.
No, I feel like, but you're the type of guy like. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like I feel like you're ready. You're like, grass is 2 inches long. Like I'm ready to go mow it. I don't know.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
taking
there
care
you-
of my stuff.
Yeah.
Like my grandpa, my dad, my brother were all
Yeah.
like just like kind of, I don't want to say like worker bees, but just like
Mhm.
being busy, like doing something. We all like being outside. My dad's more so one of those guys that just like can't sit down.
Yeah.
He's always got to be doing something. Even if he's watching TV, he's got to be like stretching or doing
Yeah.
some exercise or something in front of the TV. I'm not taking it that far, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just like always be like doing something. And
Mhm.
then when I'm like spend a lot of the day on the computer or behind the screens doing something, I like to be outside and I like to work on more manual stuff that's like
Mhm.
with my hands, or even if that's like tinkering in the garage or something. Now I don't get much time to just tinker and
Yeah.
screw around,
Yeah.
but
Now you're
there's plenty of chores to keep me.
diapers. And,
Change
Yeah.
diapers. That is fun. That actually.
do you
is-
actually do that, or do we need to call your wife to confirm?
Oh yeah, no, I do it. I do it.
Yeah.
That is an interesting concept of like the kind of forced lifestyle change.
Yeah. I mean,
of
it's
like-
not forced. You decided to have a baby.
I
right?
know, but
Yeah.
it's like you have no other choice but to take care
Yeah,
of this
of course.
baby now, and that forces you to figure out how to work differently or
Yeah.
work more efficiently or split your time up. Whereas like when I first started my business, like most of my day, every single day, weekends included, was I'm just going to work on this and do
Mhm.
something related to this. Um, and then, my wife and I we would do some stuff sometimes, but that was pretty much like the only time that I would get out of that work mindset
Mhm.
of like building, growing, trying to get better at my craft and stuff like that. So shout out to her for being patient with that, because yeah, I was pretty in it, and I've just kind of I recognize that too, because then we would like go out, and this is now just like I feel like I should kick back on
Yeah.
the chair, and we're
Yeah.
having like a psychology session here. What's that? Yeah, psychologist.
Yeah.
We'd go out
How
and
did that
do
make you feel?
Yeah,
I was like-
exactly.
I was just kidding.
well, we'd go out and do stuff, and I would,
Yeah.
try to be present, and I'd be thinking
Yeah.
about the work stuff, and I'm like, I don't like this. This isn't good. So yeah, what I've been saying, like I've been on this journey of like finding that balance is truly like going from
Mhm.
that to being like, oh, like I really want to get out of this work thing and like go
Enjoy
home
life,
and,
yeah.
relax and spend time with my family and play around, roll around with my son and plan something with my wife. Like that's, I've always wanted that and always prioritized that. But when I first started, it was
Mhm.
so stressful, I think, to
Yeah.
just like be like, yeah, I quit my 9 to 5. So now, if this doesn't work out, that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And there was just, in my mind, no option of it not working out. So I really kind of forced it, I guess,
Yeah.
which is one way. Yeah, I don't know.
I think
that's just the other half of it. We talk about all the
Yeah.
business stuff, but the personal side of it is like,
It's very important.
can't
And
forget
then
about
to be
that.
honest, like you said, it takes a lot to be an entrepreneur. It's not as easy as 9 to 5. You cannot, again, I encourage people to quit their 9 to 5s, but I always say that you have to decide if you're that type of person, because guess what? 9 to 5, they tell you what they need you to do. You do it. I mean, you had a 9 to 5, you were in marketing, and then, you're done. You have the option. I mean, some people still take it home, but you have the option to leave it there and go back and, do whatever, live your life. Versus when you do it for yourself, sure, especially if you love it, it becomes less of a chore, but then it usually stays with you, because there's not just the work. You have to now do, like we talked about, accounting and then, I don't know, bookkeeping and business planning and processes and things, and obviously business management. Obviously you can streamline this, obviously. Like you said, you've gotten a CPA. There's, you can add people to your arsenal of people that you can offload some of this to, but it does take more hours. Obviously, being an entrepreneur will never be 9 to 5, but you don't want your family life to suffer, and I get it.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you feel the guilt sometimes of like, I really like this, I'm having fun with
Yeah.
it, it's creative, it's the thing I like, and I'm gonna do it as much as I can, and then it's like, well, not
Yeah.
everyone around me gets to do that, or
Yeah.
maybe like your family's not always getting
Yeah.
to do that all the time. Like I feel.
Yeah, I feel the guilt
some
right
guilt.
now. I'm not playing with my kids. I'm talking to you over here. What am I doing?
In the garage with your buddies, man.
No, exactly. I mean, this is
Classic.
So if you think about it, I had this more. I forget the podcast episode this season I was talking to, but somebody asked me towards the end, like, do you remember Mario who it was? But like, do you regret or I don't know, something like that. But point is, yeah. But see, there's two ways to look at it. Yes, I chose to shoot this podcast. This is my passion project, right? I make no money from this.
Yeah.
You know that. So I want to do this, and I'm enjoying this, to be honest. Every conversation's been incredible and fun. This is how I actually wanted to do season 1 anyway, so I'm so glad we're finally able to do it. But then on the other side of it, I'm like, this is days and days that my kids, I'm not basically seeing them, because by the time I'm done, my back hurts, I'm tired, I'm out talked, essentially. I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
And yet it's not their fault. They didn't choose that, right?
Right.
So there is a little bit of regret that I was like, as soon as I started doing this, I was like, why did I have to pack the schedule so tight? and you know what I mean? And I'm still like, and then look at my luck. We have to pack up this for our shoot on Tuesday, and we got to load this up in the van. And I'm like, if it continues to rain, and we don't get until 9 p.m. done, like, when are we going to even load the van up? I hope that makes sense. It's things like that. I'm like, why am I making this so hard on me? And I think, again, the only person to blame is me. It, like you said, you had to catch yourself.
Yeah.
Because the only person to blame there was you. Yes, it's awesome. You love something. You're having fun with it. You can provide a great living to your family with it. Then at some point you have to go, where's the balance?
Yeah.
And I'm still finding it. To be honest, like I said, I've told you this before, why I think you and I clicked. Because to be honest, if you remember, we met at the first meetup and we didn't talk much because I was like, you're into veterinary filmmaking or whatever. That's pretty cool, right? That's about it. It had to be a couple of meetings before I was like, oh, this is who you are, right? And then that I admired because you're basically speed running what I've done. And it's awesome because, like you said, you've already figured out, like, hey, I got to have a work-life balance. And I'm still here admitting that I need to, but I don't because I have packed my schedule so tight. And funny enough, my family probably hates you right now because, you had asked me to, we were going to come back on the 9th. And then they were like, and you messaged me like, hey, you want to go to the 10th? And I was like, awesome. I've never been to that city. Yes, let's do it. Because, I genuinely love this. It's fun. If it's up to me, I want to be out there filming. And then I told Julie, she was like, that's your birthday, right? You're going to spend your birthday again?
Tell me that,
she was like, this is 2 years in a row. And I'm like, yeah, for some reason, he books me on that. But I was like, okay, I'll be back. We're going to be back in the evening. We'll do something. But, at my stage, I honestly...
my phone now.
Yeah. I mean, you're good. But honestly, like I said, I don't really do anything. And to people, it's like very important to celebrate birthdays and whatever. I don't know. Do you care about your birthday anymore?
Unbelievable.
I mean, what?
July 10th?
Yeah. Yeah, we're dating when this was shot. But do you care about your birthday still? Like, I don't know. Is that a thing to you?
I mean, I like to celebrate it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about you?
But if I have to work, I love doing what we
Yeah.
do. So I don't mind. Like,
Yeah.
if I have to work, yeah.
What about you? Do you care about like spending the birthday or whatever? Or?
I don't really care about like flashy stuff for it, but I definitely try to at least take the day off and give myself a break. Like like we were saying, it's hard to take a break. So if there's a reason to, I try to grab onto that.
Yeah. Sorry, but I was like, yeah, that's maybe where I'm failing. Where you're probably succeeding, because to me, the way I looked at it was very simple. I didn't even think about it. It was like calendar available. Hey, I can do it. Let's do it. And plus, I'm going to be with you anyway the day before. I'm like, why can't we just drive there? Makes absolute sense. And I didn't even think about it until I told her I added this to the calendar. She's like, what? You're going to be working on a birthday? I'm like, what were we going to do anyway? I mean, if we go out, let's be real. Let's look at the other side of it.
Sorry.
I am the one who's going to have to pay for food. I mean, I'm just saying,
I'm
family
gonna
of
hook
what,
you up.
5.
It's your decision then what you want
I'm just
to.
like, I'm saving money by actually. I'm not only making money, I'm gonna save money because now I gotta go take everyone out to. Oh my goodness, everyone's gonna think I'm cheap.
I'll
But
get
know
you
what
an
I-
ice cream cone on the road.
Yeah, that works. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. To me, and I see it. Like I said, this is entirely on me. I honestly looked at it, and this is a recent thing. That's why we're talking about it because it just happened. I genuinely was like, oh, day free, good shoot, like hanging out with you. Plus, I'm with you anyway the day before. I'm like, oh, we get some time, come home, maybe switch over or whatever, and we can head that the way. I was like, that's not bad at all. I was like, it sounds pretty fun. I've never been to that city, even though, it's Florida or whatever. And I was like, yeah, sounds pretty good. But then, I look at it from that perspective. Like, I like hanging out with you, but I also like doing what we do. This is the truth. Like, it is genuinely what I enjoy. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. Simple as that. I can say no. So I didn't think about it even once. But I see their perspective. Coming back to where we talk about family life is important, and I like where kind of this conversation's gone because I have to take account into people who love me and who want to spend time with me, and I cannot put them on the second, I don't know, side because I'm like I enjoy. They don't think I should be spending my birthday with you. That's just the truth, right? So, so I
Sorry,
get it.
Dendra
So,
family.
yeah. So next time maybe I'll say no. But I don't know. Again, see the thing is, I'm like, what are we gonna do if I'd stayed at home? I don't know what I would have done. I don't know.
Well,
So maybe
we
that's
get
where
back
for
at,
me to
like 9, so maybe you guys can go out to lunch.
yeah, because like you, I am not just like I don't like to kick back and just do nothing. So
Yeah.
I'm either educating myself, either I'm learning something new through either YouTube University or whatever, somewhere in our industry, or I'm out here in the studio doing something or prepping or whatever. So it's not like if I'm home.
Shopping on B&H.
Yeah, shopping on B&H. There you go. But that's not here. That happens, on the other side. But point is, like, even if I was home, to be honest, I would be doing something related to video production because if
Mhm.
it's my day, that's what I enjoy. Now, I do spend time. I do enjoy spending time with my family. Absolutely, would love to do that. But what I'm saying is, outside of that, it's not like all day. I'm not like you can only play for a little bit till your kids get tired or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you go back to what I'm enjoying, which would be that anyway.
Mhm.
So, but I'm saying yes, you're right. The summary of all this is it's important to find a balance, and I again have to admit to you, second episode, in 2 seasons in a row, that I think the way you're doing it is the right way to do it, and it's good because it's good that you've realized that you were doing that, and it's good that you're gonna push back because you need a balance. And I am still struggling with it, but I'm making an effort, and I'm going to
wouldn't-
find that balance.
I wouldn't call it a failure on your side or anything, or like
Yeah.
I'm succeeding or you're failing,
Yeah,
but like
wrong
yeah,
choice of words. but-
everybody's just finding that in a
Yeah.
different way through a different path, and that's
Yeah.
cool. I mean, your business operates at a different, revenue level than mine. So
Yeah.
it's like, and then if we're talking about our good old pal David,
yeah,
he rolls a different way too, and
Yeah.
like he operates in a different kind of capacity.
but
in the
he's
same
changed
realm.
too. Like he and I talked about this because like when I met him, or well, we met him both together at the same day. But like he was all adamant on like this is my lifestyle. I'm a free bird. I'm never gonna commit. And now he's fiance, with a retainer client that he's kept going for 18 months. Like he's not the same. He left the downtown lifestyle. He's so proud of. So everything that and this is only short 3 years. So everything I knew about him or when we met him is not the same. So people evolve. I'm saying it's good to change. And, I mean,
David, you've changed. And we don't like you
yeah,
anymore.
We don't like you. Yeah, let's not meet. No, anyway. But yeah, no. But it's good for him, I guess. That's what I'm like. He's not the same David. Like you can go back to his vlogs and you can realize like, but it's good for him. Like it works for him, And
Everybody's growing.
and like he had a good way to put it. Like he was Freebird is 1, now he's Freebird is 2. You just take her with
That
him.
is the most David
Yeah.
way to say that for sure.
He'll take her with him, right? Wherever, I guess. So I'm like, yeah, that works. I mean, you both are happy, then I guess it works.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked for that.
Yeah.
That's great. And that's what I love to see too, as people that are, doing the entrepreneurial type things
Yeah.
and also making cool life moves. Like you got
Mhm.
your house, this is a great space. It's awesome. You built your van and everything. So it's been, I just like people seeing people be able to do that stuff with that, with the amount of effort and commitment and time I know it takes to get an entrepreneurial endeavor
Yeah.
like starting a business or freelancing. up to a point where you feel comfortable enough to make those
Big moves,
personal
yeah.
investments, personal moves, whatever. Because I also went through that too. So
Yeah.
I just get it. I respect it. I appreciate it. I love to see friends,
Mhm.
grow on the personal side too.
Yeah. Same thing for me. I really enjoy, and this is kind of, I love how usually it happens, off camera. So I haven't had any memories. Like I said, we've known each other for years and don't have any recordings of it. But now it's so cool. We can go back and look every 6 months roughly. It's like, oh, this all changed. This happened. And no, and to be honest, that's like the entire goal. And I know we were talking about this when we were shooting a few days ago. That is what's next for me. I've realized that because when you reach a certain level of business goal or whatever that is, it's like what's next. And then for me, it was these passion projects. Like I want to start this. Now I'm trying the YouTube thing. This is very awkward. Talk about that, and then just putting myself out there. For now, it's been like kept. And then same thing. The other side of it is kind of stepping away a little bit from what I love to be able to spend more time with my family. I already do that, to be honest. I'm not saying that. I spend a lot of time with them in February. that
February
month.
was slow.
Yeah, but so it's just like it needs to be paid more attention to is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's waves too in this whole
Mhm.
deal that we're doing. Like, there's ups and downs in
Yeah.
work, as we know. Yeah, so you got to have a strong connection and understanding between you and your
Yeah.
family in like how that
Yeah.
actually works, and knowing that they have you when it's slower, and
Yeah.
if you spend more time there, then they're gonna have to give you up when it gets real busy. But that's
That's just
when you
yeah.
pay the bills. It's like
Yeah, they
it's some
want to
give
live
and
in the
take,
house
like
and they want all
balance.
the toys and all the fun stuff because my kids. That's what I was like. They have no, which I get it. They're young, but I'm saying they have
Mhm.
no concept of money because they just tell me like we. I think I was telling you that too. I was like, they're like, let's go to K-Pot today because they love that restaurant. I'm like, what's crazy is it's not the cheapest place to go to, but then they're gonna guess what they're gonna eat. They're gonna go to an all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue place and they're gonna eat spring rolls and stuff that they have on the sidebar. That's like
Chicken
extra.
tenders.
Yeah, chicken. I'm like, why am I paying all this for, all you can eat, barbecue, whatever, when you're going to just eat spring? But it's a thing that you accept, you expect, like, that's what they want to do. They want to go to that restaurant, but not to eat what actually the restaurant's for,
Yeah.
but some side things that they have over
Yeah.
there. And then as a dad, you're like, well, this is how we spend time together, then that's what we're going to do. I wish they would understand, like, what it costs, what I have to do on the side
Yeah.
to be able to go enjoy that. And I'm happy to do it, but it's just silly,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. 100%. Give and take, man.
Yeah. So now that, you're trying to give, I guess, time to both personal life and keep your professional life separate, do you think this is gonna affect your business in any way as he drinks water?
Good timing.
Yeah.
Do I think
But
it's going to affect my
yeah,
business? I think it's going
yeah.
to force me to work efficiently, make my business even more efficient. It's forced me to put better processes in place because, no, I'm not looking to take a decrease in revenue or income.
Mhm.
I've, in the past year, increased my expenses greatly by having a kid and having a house.
Mhm.
So the minimum operating level is what I call it
Yeah.
is much higher. So I can't be like I'm not taking the approach of let me just not take jobs and
Yeah.
spend more time with my family. It's like, no, let me just see let me see how I can run this more efficiently, how I can leverage other people's skills more, and um, work on those,
Mhm.
bigger, higher paying, better projects that are maybe, fewer of them, but they make up
Mhm.
the whole that I need.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
No, that's a smart
not
way.
taking
Yeah.
little tiny things and like, killing myself over going
Mhm.
out like every day a week and
Yeah.
shooting on every little project that comes across the table.
Just because,
Um,
yeah, you want
just,
to. Yeah, I see the
I mean, that's
point.
how it would be
Yeah.
at first. Like,
Yeah.
you know, granted, I do feel like I got a good taste and idea of what you should charge right from the get go from my buddy Caleb out in Phoenix. He's got a production company out there. And I freelanced for him a couple times, and then he gave me an idea of what I should charge, and I just kind of went for that.
Mhm.
and it kind of worked out there. So I didn't really have too much of a period where it's like you're going out for $200 for the day or whatever.
Mhm.
So I kind of got a running start as well because I had done a bit of photography,
Mhm.
um, mostly like weddings, engagements, portraits in college, and then sorry, I'm this thing around. Um, I had made a little bit of money with that and had a little bit of a feel for how to manage that, how to invoice people, how to get them to sign a contract, manage editing photos. Um, Now knowing what I know now, I could have done that way more
Yeah.
efficiently, but
But it's the knowledge, right?
dude,
You
it
didn't
was
have it. Yeah.
it was awesome weekend money in
Yeah.
college. And at the end of the day, I was like at a wedding, which was like
Yeah.
a party at every like on the weekends.
Yeah.
Not every weekend, but you know, maybe 6 to 10 times a year I was shooting
Mhm.
a wedding, and that was my like travel money or rent sometimes. You know, I had
Mhm.
an internship as well, but um yeah, I got a little feel for it there, and then kind of just did my marketing job for a
Mhm.
couple years, 2 years, 3 years, and then learned marketing stuff that way
Mhm.
and figured out, um, or got to a point where I was a little bit like on my feet out of
Mhm.
college and or felt like it, and with a little nudge from my wife, who was then my girlfriend, she was like, "You should start now. Like, it's only going to get more complicated in
Mhm.
our life, you know, like once we buy a house, have a kid, like blah blah blah, all this stuff. Like
Yeah,
you should
life
start
only
now.
gets more complicated, harder,
Yeah,
more expensive.
more expensive, more responsibilities, and she was right. She's like,
Yeah.
they gave me that extra little push of like,
Yeah. Let's get her recording of clip of that and
yeah.
send it to her. She was right.
Oh, the funny
That's what
thing,
she wanted. They want to hear,
the
right?
funny thing is actually, we love to tease each other and
Yeah.
make fun of each other and stuff. So that's our banter
Yeah.
is like that. And she sent me a screenshot or a picture of the TV, and she had the vlog that David posted where we were just sitting in the airport talking on the TV, and she goes, "I'm dying," with a bunch of laughing faces. I'm like, dude, I said, you better
Yeah.
subscribe though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. I hope she watches this. I hope she
Yeah.
pulls this up and says,
Oh,
"Oh, look at all these plugs you
and
gave
then
me.
she
The
takes
brownie points,
yeah,
brownie
and then the little
points."
clip. I think that's what the clippable part is. Like she was right,
She
and
was
then every
right.
time you tell her you're not right, she just plays that she was right.
Ugh.
Oh
You know
my
what?
goodness!
Don't let her say this.
Yeah,
I take it back.
exactly. But no, I mean that's pretty good. And the truth is, like you said, it's all the learned experience is what you get that you can apply to your business, right? And that's why, like, not that it's not doable. A lot of young entrepreneurs, that's why fail. It's not because, you know, they had a bad idea or whatever. It's just they don't have that much learned experience to apply. And that's where mentorship and knowing enough people around you that can guide you and support you and then valuing that information is helpful
Hmm.
because that's all this learned experience is what you're applying, right? Building your processes,
Yeah.
building because it's one thing to go get clients, like you said. If you just wanted jobs, there's enough cheap or whatever jobs out there.
Yeah.
It's you don't want just a video job. You want to build a video career, and that
Hmm.
takes finding the right clients, what to charge them,
Yeah.
and make sure you're not burning yourself out because you're out there morning till night every single day. So yeah, that's pretty good that you're
Talk
here
about
now.
that then. I feel like people like the business side too. This is an example, and I'm curious if you've done this for any of your repeat clients. Those vet hospitals that I work at, been to like 20 of them
Hmm.
now. And one recently asked, "Do you have a like hospital prep doc, like to get ready for the shoot?" And I'm like, "No."
Wow.
Well, of
Yeah.
course I said, "Of course I'll get that right over to
Yeah.
you." And
That was
I've
the right
had
answer. There you go. I was like, "What?" You said no,
I
but yeah, no,
well,
yeah.
no, I
I'll get
said
that right
yeah.
over to you. Is
I'll
the
send that
right
over
answer?
to you
Yeah.
shortly. And I had in some form or another done that in emails,
Mhm.
like kind of, "Hey, let's make sure you clean up this and put this away and have staff pets and on our pre-production calls." But it's like,
You
dude,
didn't have a
just
document, right?
create
Yeah.
a doc and send
Mhm.
that every time. Like, so with repeat clients, do you have anything like that where you've developed a process, you've got kind of a repeat type of shoot that you've built either documents or processes around?
Yes and no. So exactly, I need to refine my processes. But for example, we shoot a lot of talking heads. So I have general notes. Anytime we're shooting like talking heads, for example, I'll send them and their team, because usually it's CEOs or people with them that are hiring us. So I'm like, hey, make sure this, you're not wearing a pattern shirt, or you're bringing 2 3 outfit changes, or whatever. It's a list of stuff. And it's not even through Chat GPT. We've had it for years,
Mhm.
is what I'm saying. But then every time I've realized, now here's the negative side. So I have a process. Every time I'm gonna film someone, I gotta make sure I send that to them, that they do not show up with something that that a pattern share or whatever that won't
Yeah,
work for
yeah.
video. But then the negative is every time I have to go in my sent folder till the last time I sent it, like search who was
Find
the
it.
last
Yeah.
interview, oh, that person, then copy paste and send it. So but I'm like, why am I copy pasting? Like you
Yeah,
said, there should be either
exactly.
a template, or rather a document that I just attach that's
Mhm.
ready to go. So could I refine those? Yes. So I have processes, but they may not be done the best way, and that's
Mhm.
where even I am like all the time trying to figure out. Like right now, our issue biggest is project management. So I've been
Mhm.
using Trello for managing projects,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
it's just too many. Now that I've added the ability to be just a freelancer as well. So we're a production company, but I'm also a freelancer, and it's a huge schedule.
Mhm.
So projects, there's various types of project. Not everything needs post.
Right.
Like the thing I was doing 3 dates in there, but it's like it's just cam mopping. So
Yeah.
we need a better software, and that's what I'm on the hunt for right now. Is like, what's a better project management software that can define all this and make sure we know that, hey, this project's only shooting, so it doesn't affect our post
Mhm.
production schedule or whatever. So you're always refining processes, but that's what makes us a production company versus a freelancer, right?
Yeah.
Being able to do that, but then you talk about things like that. I'm like, yes, I should have put that in a document, because every time, you won't believe how many things I have to go and send email
Mhm.
and find. And funny but enough, Better Proposal, the software I use, it uses a different signature than my email. That is not compatible. Point is, I have it, but then every time I have to go and find that signature to add in Better Proposal when I'm sending a proposal out. I'm like,
Okay.
that would be such an easy automated thing that I could just save somewhere, right, or
Yeah.
whatever. But no, it's an every time thing going to
Mhm.
send. Not that it takes time, but every minute saved is a minute earned. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, and it's funny like how it happens. Like sometimes it happens by force where the clients like
hmm
ask for it. I'm like, that would be very
yeah,
smart to have. You're right. I'll have that right over to you.
yeah.
And then the other thing that's been helping me that I can definitely I need to be better at is having this project manager.
hmm
Shout out Corianne. She's helping me manage follow ups, some information flow, and trying to get her set up on to work a little bit more autonomously is forcing me to think about what can I write down in a document
hmm
and give to her? What standard things can she send to the client to prep them? Like
hmm
those are things I should have. I
yeah,
shouldn't have to do every time. And even if it's not like essential, it provides a better service. And I'm all about that. So by force from a client or by, you know, realization through trying to work with the project manager and get better at working with the project
yeah.
manager, it's helping me get the processes down, get a
hmm
little bit better, get more efficient, little bit.
yeah.
But it's still tough because being that like owner operator kind of job,
hmm
you're out there shooting, and then you're not thinking about how do I optimize this part of my
yeah.
business or my process, and then you have a week back, and you're trying to catch up on quotes and proposals and all this stuff, and it's not the
Can be a lot.
fastest
Yeah.
progression it's not progressing as fast as I would like it to, but is keeping me on in the thought process of how do we um, create
hmm
standard operating procedures so that other people can plug into this down the road, and it slowly becomes something that other people can plug in plug into easily.
No, and that's the smart thing, and that's what separates you. Ultimately, the more things you can optimize and make a process for, the easier it slowly becomes. But then there's always new things, and that's what you as a business owner are chasing. But like you said, you have a project manager, but she needs to know what all she can do
Hmm.
before she can be most effective at her
Right.
job. And as you build those, it'll make it easier for you. Now more time with the family, more time working or
Yeah.
whatever. But until you do that, you know.
Yeah, the guy that does that the best that we know is, I think, John
Genres,
Riz
yeah.
is the same.
But I think his is the issue that I have is how to implement that into what we do. Though he has a production company, and I
Yeah.
looked at invoices and stuff, great. But the main automations he's using is toward his real estate
Right,
business,
right.
which is incredible. I love the way he's automated. Now he's even automated editing. If you saw, since I last spoke to him, he's even using AI automated the editing process. So now that's eliminated a whole team,
Mm-hmm.
and more cost effective, better value.
Yep.
But then how do we implement that to what we do? I feel like what we do is very, very custom, right? And ours would be what his production. So he has also a production house, right?
Yep.
And then I was trying to ask there, and there all he had was VAs and stuff. There's not that much automation going on
Mhm.
because that's
It is custom.
what we do, and
Yeah.
which is like based on project, based on scope, based on. And until you know any of that, I don't know how to automate anything. I don't want somebody from Vietnam talking to my clients and giving them estimates or whatever. And not saying, no offense, like they're very effective and it's processes, like you said. But when there's no process, I don't know how they're going to do that because I don't even know the scope of work.
Yeah, I know it could vary a lot, but I think finding the common things that you
Mhm.
are, doing all the time. For example, if it's a niche of work, like I have these veterinary hospitals,
Mhm.
it's mostly the same. We're working in the same environment most of the time, and we're shooting a lot of the same visuals. Um, that there's that common ground there where you can start to build processes around what's the same every time. With obviously there's variability in
Mhm.
in the shoots and the locations and the requests for deliverables and everything, but even on just a bigger picture, like across all video projects, like pretty much always have an assistant or like a DP or a camera operator with me. So every project hires a crew member
Mhm.
at some point, for the most part, unless I'm freelancing. So there's something you can build a process around.
Mhm.
I've got process for post. Every project that has editing.
I can't wait for the day I get a document. It needs to be this frame rate, this resolution, everything, right? In an automated document.
Oh yeah,
You
because
you
I
think it'll
usually
be a
don't give you
process?
any information.
No, but I'm saying it'll be funny if I get a document that says DP.
It's not
Here's
even.
your-
It's not even from me. It's
Yeah,
just.
yeah. Somebody sends me a document and make sure it's this framing. This is I don't know. It'd be funny. I mean, but I see the point as a
Crew member
benefit,
number
yeah.
one.
Yeah, you could do this,
It's like
and then
completely chat GPT.
yeah, and then see you do all this to get efficient. All this to say a few minutes here, and then I saw you eyeing the FX6 of the last shoot, and you go, and then you buy some expensive camera, and it derails you. All the few minutes and dollars that you save derails you. So how many FX6s are you ordering?
It's been on my brain since that shoot, man.
Yeah.
Just spent 3 full days behind it and using it, or if you include the setup day. But yeah, man, it was so nice just to have all of the ports and
Mhm.
inputs and outputs and everything, and got a lot more familiar with just popping through the menu, navigating the settings and
Mhm.
everything in there. Because I just work on FX3s for the most part, and yeah, part of me that loves cameras and video is like, I'm gonna get an FX6. The other part of me is like,
Yeah.
nope, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because it works, and until it doesn't, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop.
I mean, to be real, I told you that the day you put nothing wrong with the Cineback. I was like, as soon as you put a Cineback on an FX3, you might as well just bought an FX6 because the cost is the same. The FX3 is like $4,000 and FX6 is $6,000, and then Cineback's like $1,000. So by the time you add all that, I'm like, you're very close to just get an FX6 because it'll be better buy because it's already built in. It's part of.
I think the Cineback's like $400.
Is it? But I thought the handle kit is another $200-300.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably $500-600 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is at that point, and then your camera is this much bigger, you might as well have just bought.
That's what was
NFX.
annoying lately. Is this a small detail? Is just packing that it's annoying. Like when I travel, and really, I don't need to pack it, dude. I could literally throw just a blank FX3, like nothing on it, but a lens and a lav mic on it, and I could do that
Yeah.
for all of my.
Yeah, you even use Road GoPros and
Road
yeah.
Pros, dude. Yeah, I could do that for all of my shoots and it would make a difference. Because obviously, putting the cine back on, it's like not making a difference in
Yeah.
the camera function. Really, it's just the form of it. I do like being able to like press it up against my chest a little bit
Mhm.
more, or hold it up higher, carry it, sling it around like this.
Essentially what I do everything with an FX6. That's my point.
Yeah,
Like, and again, it's too bad. Like, again, you could change it, but I'm saying ideally you would have been better served with than one FX6 and one FX3 than two FX3s, don't you think?
no,
No?
because the FX6 can't shoot MP4s,
Oh, yeah.
and
That's
isn't
true.
the stabilization in the FX?
Yeah,
there's not-
FX3 has,
yeah.
IBIS, FX6 doesn't.
Yeah, see, so
See, there you go.
it's like
Or maybe I thought I was trying to,
you're trying to get me to buy one.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe not.
He's about to pop a referral code on me.
Yeah, dude, I'm not David over here.
Hey. Yeah, he's probably sending it to me right now.
Yeah, he's already ready. He's like, here's the Amazon affiliate link.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you know, I'll probably spend some money on something else. Probably something on the house, or honestly, saving some money would be crazy.
is that
crazy
a thing?
idea?
Is the saving is a
Nah,
thing?
you just throwing a little bit more in
Yeah.
the rainy day fund would be probably smarter
Yeah.
at this point. And like I said, as fun as it is to buy gear and have a new camera and stuff, I've really held back on that. And yeah, I just am big on if something's working, keep doing it until it doesn't. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, no, that's
kinda
very
thing.
smart move. Yeah, because at the end of it, look, I've been to your shoots, and they're very, very FX3
High level.
oriented. Yeah, very high level FX3 oriented. No joke. I'm not just trying to be funny. But
No,
yeah, for
FX3
real.
is the perfect
Yeah,
camera for the
because
work
like
that I
you
do.
asked me, for example, the one veterinary hospital helped you. Or like, yeah, take pictures with an FX3, and I'm like, that's great, but I can't do that with an FX6. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that was a better camera because you could take photos and video with the same camera. Now, ideally, FX2 would be better, just because higher megapixel. But at the end of the day, it's like what you're doing. Even the 12 megapixel is more than enough. So kind of like that. So I see the point. Like the shoots that you're doing, at least the ones that I've been to, I'm like, yes, is FX6 nicer? Does it have better roll off? Absolutely. But is it necessary? No.
Mhm.
Because I don't think any of your clients are gonna care that you brought an FX6
Yeah.
or FX3.
And even like that's not like all the work I do in those veterinary hospitals. Obviously, we're going out to the farms. We've been out to like tech companies and what the heck else? Freelancing at conferences, all sorts of stuff. The FX3 you can go so far with that, and that's what I just tell everybody is like you can go so far with that, and it's very conducive to the level of corporate commercial work that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I having an FX6, if I were to get one at some point, would be more. It'd be for me to have the option to shoot on it because I felt like I wanted to. I wanted the internal ND for some reason, or I needed or I'm doing something like we were doing where we're like plugging into monitors and we're plugging in
You want that
the whole wall
that
power
SDI
and,
cable because you had to use the converter then for the FX3 or
yeah, which
whatever,
is a
right?
small little caveat. And then having those inputs for something like recording a conference would be nice too. But again, I've shot keynote sessions on FX3 too with the top handle XLR and HDMI, little monitor. You can plug that into an ATEM. Like, dude, you can still do it all with that. And then what I was saying about packing down the Cineback FX3 thing, it's just like you take the V mount off. And in the case that I have, you have to take the monitor off, and then you have to take the top handle thing off. And then at that point, it's just like the back and the camera. And
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
like,
Too much hassle. I can't imagine you.
Like, I
you
would
travel
love to
with
just
that.
have this FX6 just
Exactly.
got all of the everything.
Yeah, or just
right
take
there.
the
So
crap
much
off your
cleaner.
FX3 and just bring your FX3. Why do you have all that crap on it? That's
That's
why
a
I
good
never
point.
bought it. Like, again, no offense. If somebody wants, like you said, Cineback, it makes sense. Get it. I see the point, but I also don't see the point for you because you're right. Like, I don't know what it's adding other than the ability to go back. But then you can
Oh.
also use one of the small rig plates to add a V mount,
Yeah.
and it'll do the same effect, but it's a lot more compact to travel with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta show
I
you
might
one of those
explore it.
$30 versus thousands of dollars or whatever.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean that it's a good investment. Like I told you, I mean, I'm just saying it's funny to me, or rather ironic that one way you're like, let me save every dollar here, but then here's a camera I'm buying that's gonna cost me $5,000, $6,000, whatever. So it's like the things that we justify as filmmakers to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I do the same thing. I'm not saying it's just you. I'm like, oh, if I added this, look at the efficiency gain. I just did the.
You're the king of justifying.
Yeah, justifying. I was like, oh, that we can do better B-roll. We can do this. Oh, it makes sense. Oh, the image is gonna be beautiful. Whatever. Oh, it does MP4. Then you justify. Then you buy it. And again, to be real, I'm not wasting money. I deploy it, and if it doesn't work, it can go back. That's the value of return time windows. And everything, but you've seen me work though. I mean, everything I bring, I use. It's not like something is for decoration there.
Right.
So it's not like I mean, it's also not for that. But yes, I do
Mm-hmm.
see the point. Could I do everything I do? A lot of it with 2FX3s, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why I couldn't. But then also the images that I get,
Yeah,
gonna be-
and there is a little bit in my head. I think I mentioned this of like the client perception of your cameras. Like if you throw two little FX3s on like travel tripods, it's kind of like
you need to. Yes, that is true. Tripods. You need to buy the money makers, man. Matte
I
boxes.
have them. I have them, and I don't really use them because I like the variable ND
Yeah.
Peter Buchanan, screw-on filters. But
How well? Do you
yeah,
screw
just
them
throwing
on?
like two. Like if you had this, is this an FX3?
That's a 3. Those are 6s.
And that's
then also
a
3.
3 over there too. Yeah, like those two. Yeah, with the matte box, look okay. But if you just had it,
But that's just the bare camera. If you know.
yeah, it's just the bare camera.
There's nothing on it. I don't even think. If they have cages, it's just half cages. They're not even full, and then just a matte box. That's it. And that matte box is functional. We use the Tilt Mirage matte box with their IRND, just because I like IRND better than circular.
Yeah.
The point is that they're actual functional matte boxes, but that's all that is.
Right.
There's nothing, and they look pretty decent. I mean, for being FX3 with a lens and a matte box,
Yeah.
that's all that is. And then time code. That's literally
Yeah,
it.
the matte box really does help. I've had clients comment on my FX3 with the Cinematic thing. Oh, that's a big camera. That's a nice
Mhm.
camera. And I'm like,
Yeah.
thanks. Like, and as dumb as it is, like sometimes it does matter. Like
Mhm.
in the how they feel about the value they're getting.
Mhm.
They don't want somebody. I hate saying this because it's backwards, but I think there is definitely some value to bringing a larger camera out on a shoot, because if you're charging a decent price, like
Mhm.
around the 10 grand range for a shoot, like they're probably not wanting someone
Yeah,
like
I get
with
it.
a
Especially with those skinny
little
sticks. Yeah.
DSLR,
yeah.
just tiny little guy just popping
Yeah.
out there. It's like, dude, my kid has one of those, or
Yeah.
my cousin has one of those, and you don't want that
That
kinda look.
perception. So you need this basically. Take an
Yeah,
FX6 and rig it all up with the monitors
Yeah,
and
those are
matte box and
beautiful.
the Tilta cage and Tilta V mount and all that.
Yeah, even just the body of the FX6 and then throwing a monitor on top, like, is great. But yeah, I don't know. It's in my head a little bit of like
Yeah, I
the
think
client
it's
wants to see something a
yeah.
little bit bigger and makes them feel like they're getting a little
Mhm.
bit more out of it, even though it's the same exact thing inside all
And
this
see,
crap.
that's the internal debate. And I know again I'm different, but isn't I eliminated that. But for me, what I'm talking about is the internal debate on what to spend money on and what not to. But for example, I'll tell you this: like having a shotgun mic over them, right? There's a visual part of it, right? Oh, look, there's a big mic on me. But then you can buy a couple $100 mic or even a MK600, like we saw, that's $300-400 used or whatever, right? That's mostly for look, right? And now you can go buy a Shep's mic or I don't know, or I'm not forgetting, or even just a I don't know Rycote mic, something cheaper. I'm saying a little bit, or Sennheiser 416 or whatever, and that actually makes a real difference in your sound quality. But the visual appearance is the same, right? Because
Mhm.
it looks like a shotgun mic. You don't
Yeah.
know if it's $300 or $3,000.
Yeah.
So as a filmmaker, I'm like, that's always a debate, especially corporate commercial. I'm saying because you are right. Like as in, not having any mic does have a visual thing. Like oh, and again, it's not all shoot, but like they put a tiny mic on me, okay, versus oh, there's a big mic on top of me, right?
Yeah.
But then you go, does that mic actually better? Because it's just one of those cheapo mics, so your Rode Go is probably getting decent quality. You know what I'm saying? Comparable. Versus you could have actually a mic where it makes audio
Yeah.
quality difference, but the impression is not better. Is not that much better. I hope
Yeah.
that makes sense. So I'm like you said, bring in FX6, absolutely, especially all rigged out. You're right. They're gonna be like, oh, they used big cameras on me, whether they care or not, because some clients don't care, to be
Right,
real.
right.
But they will still see it, and they will say they had big cameras there.
Mhm.
Versus your FX3, and the image is so close. I would say 96% within each other that visually you're not making that much of a difference, right? It's a perception change.
You always know when the client's shooting some BTS and they're like by your camera and they're snapping a shot. And it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah. So
you're enjoying that
yeah.
big bulky thing being there, and you feel like you're getting a production out of it. You're getting this big effort and these, technical experts that know how to operate these pieces of equipment. Like, at the end, it's just it's cringy to say it, but it is there.
Yeah, it applies to sticks too. You could buy, those travel sticks, very skinny, look very cheap, even though they're not. Or you could buy a small rig tripod, and it's like big, bulky. I'm talking one of those, and then for a couple $100, you can make your shoot look. Oh wow, look at even their tripod was huge, and then you can go, like I said, thousands and thousands of dollars, and it's going to be the same impression. But I'm saying, as a business owner, you're applying that formula to literally everything. Because, like I said, there's a visual element, but there's an actual quality element.
Yeah.
Like when I use these, it makes our life so much easier, right? There's an actual benefit to it. But is your client going to see how easy the socklers are to angle or to get a level or to raise? No. So, the effect will be, I'm saying, the same the bigger the tripod is.
Right.
So I don't know. And so I, at least personally, and this is like I said, I don't recommend this to anyone. I was just like, I'm just going to get the best stuff. I don't care. I don't want to justify my client. Obviously, if I get the best stuff, they'll already be impressed. But it's not to impress them, because then I could have just bought a big looking tripod for cheap.
Yeah.
So I just decided, and that was just, again, because I wanted this to be a passion, not a job. I was like, I'm just going to buy what I want to buy, and I'm going to charge what I want to charge. And we'll go from there, right? Because that made it easier. But you're right. A lot of this, as far as do I need it? No, because I could do most of my corporate shoots with a couple FX3s. I mean, to be real, I could do them with FX30. The image is amazing, and the lenses would be a lot cheaper because APS-C lenses are so nice, especially the new Sigma. They announced the 17 to I think 40-8. That's an
Nice.
AP that only goes on or 2, I think, not even 2.8. Either way, 1.8. That only goes on APS-C lenses. So I'm like, you pair an FX30 with the lens, it's like, what? And the lens is only $900? Like, you know what I mean? There's value to it. So technically, you could even save more money, and they look the same, because same body.
Yeah.
But
I'm not, I'm not advocating for doing the bare minimum or advocating for buying things necessarily for client perception. I'm just acknowledging the fact that it does exist. And that, I guess I'm saying as well, like that sometimes is the reason that I go through the hassle of like breaking down the Cineback thing and packing it into my case, in as much as I'm like,
yeah,
why don't
that
I
makes
just have
sense.
an FX6 that's got no cables coming off it and just
There's
put it in
multiple
there.
times where I've been with you, I'm like, why do we have that? Like, but I mean, I get it. Again, if you want to use it, you want to use it. But that's why I was interested in Cineback until I saw yours, and I was like, nah, I think I'll leave my FX6 is just FX3 is just broken down into plain bodies.
I'm not like,
I
I don't regret using it or buying it. I just was annoyed a little bit with packing it recently, and then comparing to how an FX6 would be packing down. Granted, with my case, just I would still have to take the monitor off, the top handle off, obviously the lens, the mic,
so everything.
So I'm still taking the thing apart like I would at the Cineback thing. So, it's just it would, I don't know, maybe it would be a little bit cleaner. But again,
I think
it's
you're
not
just
gonna
justifying it to yourself.
I'm trying. Live, trying to do this live. But again, I'm just gonna stick with what I have until it's not working. And when it stops working, I'll probably hire somebody that has the FX6 6 or Ari or
What?
whatever the heck,
Brano, right? No, I'm just
whatever the
yeah,
need is, like I'll
yeah,
probably end up hiring somebody for it because it probably won't be an all the time thing. Um, the FX3 for me works pretty much all the time.
yeah. No, I
So
mean these cameras are so good, and that's why like people get hype over equipment. I'm like, unless it solves a real issue, and I'm talking a real issue, not a made up issue, because we do justify to ourselves like, oh, that'd be nice. It's not an issue. I had to like double take recently on a cheap item. So to be real, financially, it wasn't that big of a purchase. But so Hollyland, I've been impressed with their cheapo mics. They're just so good. They released the Lark Max 2, and the main reason I was impressed. The only thing didn't like about the Lark, the other ones that we have, whatever the models are, M2S, I think, was that there's no internal recording. And sometimes, we do need that. Clients do walk away or whatever, or the connection drops for 2.4 gigahertz because it's not reliable. And I was like, if only these have recording. So they just released these mics, the Max 2, slightly bigger, but they have now recording. And I was trying to justify, but I was like, do I need to buy a whole new mic set? To just because they have recording. And then they announced at the same time, oh, by the way, we also have wireless earbuds so you can actually listen to it. I was like, okay, that justifies it, because I've had this issue where we literally forget, because again, if I'm bringing the whole van, it's one thing. On a small shoot, like you said, conference shoot, you're just packing a couple of FX3s on gimbals or whatever. I always forget headphones, or I'm bringing these type of headphones and I hate them because they're too big, for what we're doing. And I personally, I'm sure some people I hate the regular earbuds. So I was like, oh, this makes absolute sense because I can actually monitor the audio. They're wireless. I don't have any wires dangling. And they don't actually go your in-ear, like I said, because I don't want in-ear. They go over-ear, right? And I was like, oh, this actually makes sense. This actually solves all my problem. And then when you look at it, it's like $250 or whatever, something like that. And I was like, compared to what I spend on my regular mic, it's like, I'm talking just the Lav is like over $350. So those type of costs, I'm saying you can justify at least a little bit. But yeah, spending 5, 6, 10 grand somewhere, that's a lot of money.
yeah.
That as a business, you have to account for how I'm gonna recoup that back. That's harder to kind of get back.
Yeah, definitely. And they got you
Yeah.
with the features.
Yeah, I know.
No, that sounds cool. I look
Yeah.
forward to seeing those. You ordered them, right?
Yeah. They pre-order whenever they come in. So probably when people are watching this, they're probably in. But and I'm just giving an example. Like we justify it. Sometimes I'm like, I can at least make that up. I mean, first conference I do with them because that's where I use the lower type of mics, the cheaper mics. I'm like, I can justify, making that money back versus it's harder to justify, a big purchase is the point of it. But at the end of it, you and I both know that we make money from doing a good job, making great videos with good storytelling any day of the week than equipment. Equipment is just tools, right?
Right. Yeah, and being efficient at that, which obviously the tools help with, but at the end of the day, a good service, good communication, a good result. That's what's keeping them coming back. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say I'm gonna start booming more. I think. Just try to improve.
Oh, you took that literally. You're gonna
No,
press it?
yeah.
No, yeah.
No,
you're gonna-
I actually want to just to get a little bit better audio. Because I'm not an audio
you see
guy.
real time Adam's brain work. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna ask you. You're much more of an audio guy than me.
Yeah.
I bought the Rode NTG3 way back when because I read this is like a kind of
decent mic. Yeah.
decent, like timeless workhorse type mic that you can use. It's not like top tier and it's not bottom, like middle tier, use it for a long time. Where does that fit with like is it in line with like the 600, 416, or is that like?
It would be somewhere in between the two, I would say.
Okay.
It's above the MKE 600. And then again, sound, here's the thing. Sound is very subjective. So and this is the difference between hiring an audio guy versus just somebody doing audio. Each person has a different voice, right? And they have different tonality, different sibilance is the word, so you want to pair the right mic with the right person. So a real audio guy, and I'm talking actually real audio guy, would bring multiple mics from different brands, and then they would listen to you and they would plant the right mic on you, right? That is the right way to do this. It's not a certain brand or price or money. because certain mics make somebody sound like Sheps is one of the best mics. Doesn't mean everyone's voice sounds good on it, right? It's just how it responds to the frequency. I'm saying that's the right way to do it. But what we do, let's be real, you are not gonna usually always have a sound guy and that too a sound guy that's proper. I'm saying with all those mics, usually they have 1 or 2 mics.
Yeah.
So the way to approach this from your perspective would be to just buy some standard stuff that's good. For example, like I'm saying, like Lav, Cause 11D. They're the industry standard. They work. They're easy to cut to with most popular, boom mics if you need to cut between. So it's an easy buy. They're expensive for mics. They're actually not expensive when you think about how long they last. Because audio gear is not like they're coming out with a new version. You see what I'm saying? It's been the same ones for 10 years. I haven't had to upgrade my Lavs because it's the same thing over and over again, right? So Cause 11D, 350, I think $360 per Lav. You buy 2, 3, for what we do. That's more than enough. And now you have really good sound and you're done. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, yes, ideally, would you have 10 different Lavs with 10 different voice patterns? Absolutely. But if you just can buy one, you buy that, you're done. For most videographers, end of the done with lav mics. Obviously, transmitters are different. You could have a Tracky, you could have a Sennheiser, you could have Sony. I mean, you could plug that with anything.
Yeah.
You do have to make sure you get the right end on it that works with whatever transmitter you're having. But the mic doesn't change. And technically, advantage of buying a pro level thing is if you ever switch your transmitters, you can send that in and get it re-terminated to a different end. You don't have to buy a whole same mic all over again.
Okay.
So you're not like, you know what I mean? Like it's pro level gear. It's meant to be repaired and fixed and changed. The other thing is, like, for example, same thing with boom. Ideally, like I said, you'd have 2, 3 booms, but if you can't, you're really well off buying something industry standard. And like you said, technically NTG3 is a good starter mic. I'm not a fan of Rode booms and how they make people sound. I'd rather have that control in post. I like a neutral sound. But some people like that boomy, Rode type of sound immediately. Then you don't have to do much. Like I said, if you have an NTG3, don't spend money. Just use that.
Yeah.
But there are better options out there. Like I said, 416 is the very well known. You can find them used. They haven't changed that in 40 years. So used would be a very good deal. You have to be careful because it's a very popular mic. There are fakes out there. So you have to be very careful. You don't get duped with like a knockoff, basically.
Okay.
Just because it's been around for so long and it's so popular, it's $1,000 mic. But the problem with that is, and which is why I wouldn't recommend it. Guess what will happen? They have such a narrow window where you sound sweet, and you, again, if you're doing everything, you cannot. You're not. If you're a sound guy, you can keep an eye on it. Because that's all you're watching. As a videographer, what happens is you go to YouTube, you see this is a good mic, you'll buy it, and then people will, move back and forth. People are talking, and then you keep losing the sweet spot. And then a lot of time you go, that didn't sound. I thought this was supposed to be a really good $1,000 mic because the sweet spot is so small. I'm saying, you don't want to be using, and then indoors you can get reverb on that, and you're like, this doesn't sound right. So I'm saying it's not a good buy for most people.
Yeah.
So ideally, my favorite mic, if you want to know any for you, would be like something like MKH50. They've shot TV shows on it. It's resilient. I'm talking. It's like Sennheiser too. MKH50, amazing mic. $1,150, very well spent. And most things we do is indoors. It will never fail you. No reverb, great sound, no like very large sweet spot. But outdoors, you have to be careful with it because it's meant for indoors. You could use it. That doesn't stop you, but you can get a lot of environment noise and stuff like that. But that is the mic that will make you money. Again, been around for decades. It'll continue to make money. And even if they come out with 10 new mics, it's not like MKH50 is going out of fashion. They have 8050, 8040, 86. They have tons of mics, Sennheiser. MKH50 still sells. Like I said, again, in the real world, you would have 10 mics, find the right thing. But as a production company owner, that makes no sense. So you just buy the right thing. So that's what I would buy. I would buy an MKH50, a couple of Cause 11Ds, and just use that. And then you have Rode Ghost for your backup or whatever. Throw them in, put them in 32-bit flow, just so you know, just in case. You never know with audio. And I think that's basically, good for most people. Is that perfect for every scenario, every voice type? No. But that's where you need an audio guy.
That's a highly technical, stipulation, or you're like, you want to hire an audio guy if you're worried about their voice.
And that too, audio guy. Because I'm telling you, I was like, there's audio guys like who are like, I'm like, that's why like I was like, I'm not an audio guy. I just learned this because I realized how important I'm a DP, right? I can make sure the visuals are good. How do I make sure audio is good? And if I'm not an audio guy, and then I had to slowly learn, and that's when I realized I'm like, I would bring on audio guys. I'm like, can you put this type of mic on them or something like that? Do you hear the and they wouldn't even consider that. Like, this is the mic I have. I haven't, like I said, MK6416 because that's a common one, or MKC. I'm like, what about something different? And then they don't have it. And it's like, well, then I might as well do the audio. If I'm just gonna pick the common
Right.
mic, if I'm gonna throw an MKH50 on them, then I might as well do it. Save that funds and apply it somewhere else, right? That's
Mhm.
how I slowly started acquiring audio gear. And the good thing about audio is, unlike all these other things, I bought these mics years ago, like
Mhm.
5 years ago, and they're still amazing. Like my
Yeah.
CMIT 5U from Sheps, sure, very expensive, but that's not like they've replaced the mic. And even if they do, the mic doesn't go. I'm like, what I'm saying is, cameras are bad investment. Audio stuff, especially mics, are very good investment because they are standardized. They're popular.
Yeah.
Even if a new model comes out, the old one doesn't go out of fashion. But the transmitter now is the complete opposite. That changes every 6 months. There's some new model out, right? So
Yeah.
those are
yeah.
not that good investment. How do you send audio back and forth or whatever? But the mics themselves are actually a pretty good investment. And you can find, like I said, stuff like MKH50 that's been around for a while. Very good price used, I'm saying. And it's not like
Cool.
mic goes bad typically. As long as it works,
Yeah. Yeah.
it works.
Cool. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I might
no,
start
good-
throwing that
good tangent, yeah.
NTG3 on some shoots.
Yeah, boom audio is so much better than lav, man. There's not even competition. And you know a little bit about post, you sweeten it up a little bit, and EQ, you can make, audio sound crystal clear, people sound good. And the biggest thing, you want to know about way more than mics, audio, loudness control. Biggest thing I hate, or dislike rather, hate a strong word, is when I go to YouTube or somewhere, like, having to keep changing volume. But like, I go one video and I have to lower the volume because it's too loud. Go to another one, the volume's too loud. People don't standardize their videos. Now, I know some of these uploading platform have a certain loudness that they'll process when you upload the video. But I think video professionals need to understand, just like we have a color, you want it to be cohesive. You want all your videos should have a standard loudness. It's a scientific thing. It's not a manual thing where you go, see, you master the audio, right? Your editor, then it needs to run through a program that loudness controls it. Because then all your videos will be, let's say, I think we aim for, and Julie would be the right person to answer. I think we aim for negative 16 LUFS or whatever. But she makes sure no matter what video we do, after it's fully done, it goes to the software and we loudness control every video. That is, it doesn't matter what client, what video, or what I make. You're listening from my videos. They're always going to be standard. So if we did 20 videos for a client, you can go from one to the other without having to ride the volume button over and over again. Because that is the type of stuff when people stop watching. And I'm sure you tell me if you've experienced that.
Yeah.
Where you're listening and,
Get
volume
blasted,
just straight up goes and you're like, what?
Well, especially us too. We're hyper aware of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, oh man, they really missed something there,
Yeah.
or they really leaned into that mic real quick and they got really
Yeah.
loud and blew it out. They didn't.
Exactly, yeah. And those are the simple things I feel like that can add so much more to your video and take it to the next level, right? Like, those are the things that clients don't typically notice. But that's the whole point. I don't want them to notice it. I don't want their clients or people listening to notice, because people will tell them. People will be like, hey, what happened? It was so loud, or it was so quiet, I couldn't hear it, Because you have to test every video on a cell phone. That's like my final QC. Talk about John Roos. My QC is, I have to put it on my phone, and then I have to watch it, and then I have to make sure I like it. Funny enough, you make all that money on camera and audio to go on a
watch
cell phone.
it on this little 5-inch screen.
Yeah, that's where it's ending up, dude. On people's toilets, they're just watching our video. Can you imagine somebody on their toilet watching 6 Minutes to Live? We poured our heart and soul into that documentary, and that's where it's being consumed.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna do a little bit of unpaid stuff for them because they got this intern now that's here in Florida, in like Melbourne or something.
Oh, look at that.
Ironically, and she just like is a high school student that helped get AEDs at her school, and like did this whole survey of her school and like their comfortability, like the students' comfortability with CPR and all this stuff. So they were like very impressed with her, and she wanted to jump in and help out. So we were gonna go where I am gonna go film kind of like a little bit of her story and her motivation, I guess, in a little, I don't know, half day or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, keeping that door open. They're working on the funding still for the doc, and they're also, I may go to Phoenix with them in December
Okay.
because they're going to be at a conference. They're going to be speaking, presenting
Mm-hmm.
on the Saturday, and all my family's there too. So I got all the reasons to be
Yeah.
there. So I don't know if, I'll just go check that out, see what that's all about, and like continue that conversation because I've told them like, hey, I'm very invested in like being a part of this and helping you guys succeed because it's a good mission that you're
Yeah.
on. It's meaningful. It'll change and save lives. So let me know what I can do, even if it's being the like video consultant for whatever you're trying to do and just offering that
Mm-hmm.
advice for free or, doing this free thing. It's local and close here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Small stuff like that, like happy to help out when I can.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a good mission. It's a good video, though. Yeah, I would have thought they would have figured out funding by now because how powerful that video was that we did for them. But I get it; these things can take time. Pull that up. I want to see how many views that it has. Can you go to YouTube and search 6 minutes to live, Mario, and tell us
Yeah.
how that
Let
video's
me
been
see.
doing? But no, I really liked it. Like I said, I liked how you guys edited it. Shout out to your editor. And obviously, shout out to me and Manuel. We shot
Shout
it
out to
very well, too.
yourself.
Yeah. Shout out to us. We'll take the credit. But no, I really enjoyed that project, and I felt like you said, it had a mission behind it,
Which
and
one?
all
This?
of them were
Yeah,
amazing.
the one that
top-
shouldn't be a thumbnail of.
Yeah, they need to change the thumbnail. Can't believe they have views. No,
I told them.
yeah, they have that much views with that thumbnail. Can
It
you
should be
click
the
on that?
top one. It's like 12
Yeah.
minutes long.
Is the first
This
video
one.
12 minutes long? Yeah.
Yeah.
How many views does that have? Click on it.
Almost 4K.
Look at that.
Four,
With that
4K.
thumbnail to get 4,000 views.
I
That-
even made a thumbnail for them.
Yeah.
And they.
That's great. We don't need to watch the video. People can go search for it. If you guys want to
Yeah.
watch, go to YouTube, search for 6 minutes to live.
Give us some
Incredible
feedback.
video. Yeah, give us feedback. Put some comments down there. Tell them this video sent you there. Anyway, but no,
No.
I think
I think after July 1st is, well, they're working on it is what they've told me. And then after July 1st, they said they might see some action on funding because of the fiscal year for a lot of the big organizations in that realm.
I think they
like-
may also be affected by the whole tariff situation. Talk about that. Like, I know it's bounced back, which is great, but like, talk to me as a business owner with a new kid on the horizon, and then the whole thing happened. Like the economy slowed down a little bit. Our business was a little slower towards the beginning of the year. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was a slower start to the year, which wasn't that fun. Ironically, January was actually a really good month
Yeah.
because I had spent a bit of the end of 2024 talking to people. Hey, what do you want to do at the start of the year? Where you got anything in January? And then I had some spillover receivables. So the my revenue in January was great compared to other Januaries because it's usually very quiet. People have gone on their vacations and whatever. They're still ramping back up to the year. And then, February was quiet. Like you said, spent a lot of time with the
Yeah.
family. And it just was like looking a little dim. And then we got all the tariff thing. And, I don't like to just blame, macroeconomic things for my little business here in Central Florida and being slower than normal. But every single person I talked to was like, yeah, man, it's been slow. And now everybody that I'm talking to, including you, with my editor, other people in other states, doing different types of work, they're like, it's picking up. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
Here comes the storm. I think people just held on to their marketing budgets. They were a little nervous about where it was going and realized, 6 months, halfway through the year, they're like,
This
"Hell
isn't getting
yeah.
better.
We have to invest in our marketing to get the return on that we're looking for, get the growth that we're looking for this year, or continue to compete in this market."
Because
Yeah.
the thing is, people just panic, and I think that was what it was. But yeah, for a minute, even I was like, like you said, January is supposed to be the slow month. So January is really good. I was very busy. and come start at February. And obviously I had some projects, but nothing like I'm saying major, right? And I go, what is happening? And I remember calling and talking to you and then a bunch of other people, and everyone was like, yeah, it's slow. So I was like, okay, it's not just me. It's, at least a bunch of people are saying, and even the one or two people that were like, oh yeah, no, we're doing good. It was just DPs, so they were doing day rate stuff, nothing, like a project or whatever. And I was like, okay, first it's not me. I didn't do anything wrong. Then I was like, okay, well, then all you can do is ride the wave. There's nothing you can do. Spend more time with the family, invest in the business, focus on what you want to do next. And like I said, it was just a couple months, and then it bounced back. And at this point, it's doing really well. And
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I always try to tell people that too, is like if you have or like you need to manage your business and cash flow specifically and obviously when you're doing this type of thing, entrepreneurial type thing, like your cash flow between your business and your
Yeah.
personal can be very similar, or very closely tied. So managing it on both fronts, so that in those slow times, it's probably still going to be stressful regardless if
Mhm.
you're really good at that or not, but you don't have to quit. You don't have to go bail out and do some second job or like get distracted with something else. What I did was double down on all of my follow-ups, double down on looking at where I can improve and put things in place in the process wise and operationally for when it does get busy again, because I knew it would. Like I think as stressful as it is, you have to stick it out and you have to be able to do that. If you have to pay bills and you don't have money to pay the bills, then well, that's
That's
that's gonna
life,
be
unfortunately.
that might be your downfall right there, because I honestly tell people like, hey man, if you can just manage your cash flow well through starting your business, you will beat like 90% of people out that even try, because like I said, they like a lot of people, I think, spend it when things are good, and they got nothing left when things are not good. And that could be in the form of frivolous stuff or just dumping all your money into equipment or whatever. Like, then those are the people that end up like yeah man, I'm driving Uber Eats right now because it's slow, like I got
Exactly.
nothing, or like they're
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not trying to like dump on those people too
Yeah,
hard, but I'm just saying that's a very, very, very important thing to do if you're trying to start your business and grow, because it's gonna be like this. Like that's gonna
Yeah.
be the
Business has
nature
its
of it.
ebbs and flows, and the thing is, like you put it very well, business is cash flow. A lot of people, yes, revenue numbers matter, profit matters, all that, but ultimately, the only thing people look at is cash flow. If your business has money coming in and going out, it's a healthy business. If your business has no money coming in, it just doesn't look healthy, and it's not good for you because you cannot manage your expenses and things like that. So you got to make sure you always have cash coming in, and times when it goes down and maybe you have less cash coming in, that's exactly when you need to have enough in reserves so you can still have money going out, because that's just again what business is. And most people go out of business not because they were not talented or they did something wrong. It's just simply because they didn't manage cash flow really well.
Right.
You got to always be prepared for these type of dips. And then here's the thing: the most people that are gonna make it are the ones who were prepared for it.
Yeah. And I'm not claiming to be, flushed with cash or anything, or trying to, put that out into the world, because I'm definitely
Yeah.
not. I got a house and a kid,
Yeah.
man.
You don't want people asking you for money.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I had a house and a kid. That's
was
all you
it?
need to know.
Sean was there. He's like, yeah, I know I'm doing well or whatever, because now he has friends. People asking him for money. I was like, yeah, I was like, that's good, but also bad. I don't know, because you got to be prepared for it when you need it, because there's always downtimes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with me.
Especially
I
if you
was
have
like,
responsibility in your personal life, like a house, kids, family.
yeah,
all that
last year I was
stuff.
like, oh, life was so easy. I had no, no fixed expenses. I had project expenses. Rent was low, and now I'm like, oh, I gotta pay for the house. Oh, I gotta pay for the van. Or I gotta pay all the higher expenses that come with owning a house. Like you were pointing out earlier to me, it's like, oh, do I want to go out and clear, or do I want to hire someone to go clear? That's expense. Anyway, things like that. That happen as also homeowner and business owner and things like that.
That's another one of those things where I've been kind of saying a couple times, like it's like a forced evolution, or like you have to change.
Mhm.
Ultimately it's not forced. You chose to buy the house, but like because you now have the mortgage, you have to keep up with the maintenance of the house or whatever. Like that forces you to spend your money differently. It
Mhm.
forces you to operate a little bit differently
Yeah.
so that you can keep that up.
Find out that the arborist exists, and I need to call an arborist. And I was
Yeah.
like, what is an arborist, and what does
I
he
need
do?
one
Oh,
too. Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, there's things like that, that I've learned about that I was not prepared for. Because, I did own a home before this, but the home was brand new and it was in a new community. So even the trees were small because, they grow
Yeah.
with the community.
Yeah.
So I never had to deal with any of this. No, even though we had like no clogged gutters, none of this tree issues and
Yeah.
stuff. Like storms came, I'm not worried. Like the tree is like, I don't know, 6 feet. Like it's not
Yeah.
gonna damage anything. And I'm sure, obviously, now the neighborhood's much older,
Right.
probably is even issues. But the point is, I grew up in a home where I was like, there was maintenance, but that was at most like, fixing a yard or fixing some minor things.
Yeah.
And now I'm like in a home, even though this was renovated, because I'm in a community established, there's leaves everywhere, like you said. Like there's freaking trees everywhere. There's like, and then there's limbs falling here, or there's a gutter issue here, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a lot to
Yeah.
deal with. But I'm also trying to run a business.
How long do you think you'll stay here?
Oh my goodness! Stop asking me deep questions. I don't know. I tell that, and
buy a
my
bigger
family gets
house.
mad. I was like 5 years is the minimum. I said, like I said, for it to, just to be real. Here's the thing. You know this. I wanted to buy a home in Dr. Phillips area. That's where I was, hanging out most of the time. So I was like, this
Okay.
is where I want to be. We like going to the parks. It's easy access. I just couldn't find anything that was reasonable, and that kind of fit. No, and I also needed no HOA, which is hard to find in Florida, especially Central Florida. So when I eliminated the area where I wanted to be, that's when we started to look out. And this kind of neighborhood was perfect to me because there's easy access through 408,
Mm-hmm.
'cause, easy
Yeah.
access to airport, easy access to locations. There was a lot to do here thanks to Winter Park
Yeah.
and Full Sail's right here.
It's
You know what I
great,
mean? There was a
yeah.
lot of things, and the neighborhood had no HOA, and it was well established. I like that the neighbors have been here for decades. Like they're not, coming and going all the time. Point is, the schools were nice. That Julie liked that. Point is, that's why we ended up here, but this wasn't the intention.
Mm-hmm.
And the intention was to stay here 5 years, sell, and go. But the crazy thing is, I've been here now a long time, or not long, but
Almost a year?
yeah. Well, in
Or October?
yeah,
Is it
probably
year?
by the time people see this, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be almost a year, and then I was like, now I'm starting to grow on this. I'm like starting to like restaurants that are nearby,
Mm.
or the
Yeah, you settle
community, or
into
we can
your
go see get
area.
Kelly's ice cream, or
Yeah.
stuff like that. So there's a lot to do, and then you start to like. So I'm like, now the initial plan was that. Who knows now? Because I'm like, do I have to leave?
You get so attached too. Like you've
Yeah.
put all this work into this place, man. And
Yeah.
then you make memories in the place, and you're like,
Yeah.
ah, this is
So
gonna be tough to leave.
Honestly, I don't know. Currently, like I said, the only thing left that I wanted to do was fence, and I'm gonna do that. It got delayed last year, thanks to the van and everything. But now I'm gonna go ahead and do that this month or next month, and then that's really it. Because there wasn't much to do. Like I said, they did renovate it,
yeah.
other than general maintenance that you have to do. This was the area, and I was like, go watch the video. You guys will be amazed how nasty this garage was, and we converted it. But outside that, the rest of the home was fully renovated. This was the only thing we had to do, and then the whole van thing.
Mm.
So, like I said, currently we're happy. I'm not even thinking about moving.
Yeah.
I'm just
I was
thinking
curious.
about paying it off. That's a whole thing. My entire thing was finishing the plans I have for this business, and I think like next year is that. Like I like to work on,
Okay.
the home and stuff. But yes, currently the initial plan was 5. Now I've stopped thinking about it. So I
Yeah.
don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, same. And I try not to think about it too much.
Because you went a little even further away. You were, in where you bought the house than Orlando. But
Yeah.
are you happy in the area? Do you like it?
Yeah. It's the area is great. A lot of the stuff that we like to do or like take people to do when they come from out of town is over in the Winter Park area. My wife drives over here and goes to like her little baby bunch meetings and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff that we'd like to do is over here, but the area is great. The neighbors are great. It's super safe. The schools are great. The house is a great size. The yard, all the things are great. Our thing is like probably, or like the conversation often comes up of like, are we going to move back to Arizona at some point? Because all of our family's there. So you know, answer is probably yes in the mid to longer term. But we're trying to enjoy it here.
Hmm.
We've been in the house for a year. We're trying to enjoy it as much as
Yeah.
possible here before that probably happens. And then also not dwell on the fact that, like, oh, maybe our time here does have a limit or like
Yeah.
an end to it because we like it here. We like
Yeah. And
Florida.
you
And it
just bought
doesn't,
the home. I mean, a year's not
yeah,
that long for a home purchase.
right. And it doesn't have to be like set in stone that we're moving back to Arizona, but just we love our family, want to be
Mhm.
around them. We want to have them around our kids. It's hard, when they can only come out for a couple days and then they got to go away, or they
Mhm.
can only FaceTime in and see my son. And it's, yeah, I think longer term that's like our biggest priority. But we really like it here, so we're gonna
Yeah.
soak it up in Florida for several more years.
Yeah. I see that. And then obviously, like you said, you may like it by that time. Like you said, you have your own roots. I do see you moving to this side because, like I said, you were already happy on this side, more on this side than I
Yeah,
was. Because
we
like
were
I
in
said,
Baldwin.
I was the Disney more area side than
Yeah,
you
I'm an
were.
East Orlando guy, man. I
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
East
saying. Yeah.
Orlando.
So so I'm saying I do see you moving to this side of the town if you decide to stay longer. But like you said, going to family, that's the big thing. Having a support system
Yep.
is a huge thing. And
Mhm.
that I felt that, when I moved here initially, I was like I just left everything behind, like I don't
Mhm.
know any much. I had a few friends, but you know what I mean? Like I had no one. I'm like I literally came here in a suitcase. And I'm like in Orlando in 2010. I'm like, look at me. Good luck putting anything in a suitcase. I can put a couple cameras in a suitcase now. But you know what I mean? Like this is I built this, which is awesome. But then I'm like, holy crap! Can you imagine if I have to move again?
Oh my
I
god.
can't. I can't even imagine. You helped me move, Mario, and it was even less than this. So how was that? I'd already eliminated it because I knew I was gonna move. I had like sold or removed a lot of furniture, so we bought a lot of the stuff
Yeah.
new when we got here. So how was it?
Um,
Help you remember the move?
yes, yes, we did it with Natalia
And
and
Jared.
Jared, right?
Yeah.
No, and I remember you said no, yeah, we'll do just one trip. We made like
Biggest lie ever.
3 at
Yeah,
the
and
end, I
that's not
think,
even counting
and
the
then we
storage
went to the
units.
storage unit.
Yeah, but we
oof.
didn't get enough. We went back after I'd moved here. Was that a lot of stuff? I still remember. I don't know who it was out of the three of you who, they were loading and loading, and I was like, I already packed most of the stuff, and they were like, how much more is there to go? And I was like, there's a lot.
It just
think,
comes out
yeah.
of every
All
crevice.
of our three, we were asking the same.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be a 1 day move. It was literally midnight by the time we even got here with the
Yeah.
first thing, and then it was like, okay, we're gonna do this again tomorrow because it was added because it wasn't there. It wasn't the initial plan, and yeah, that was a fun day too. And that wasn't everything. Then we had to go make small little trips by ourselves, and that's not counting multiple times we went back for the storage units and stuff. It was just chaos, and I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know if I would want to do that. And like I said, that was way more if I
Right.
keep the furniture because like I said, just added this couch or whatever. There's always new things. I'm like, do I want to? I want to think about the move. Currently, all I'm
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about
yeah.
is the cash flow situation. What I do not like is, like you said, buying a home adds more expense. I don't like that constant expense thing because what makes me, like I said, good at what I do is because I have no obligation. I go to my client, I help them if I can. If I can't, I just say no and I walk away. And I feel like
Right,
it's a
right.
genuine relationship. Uh, like I said, I don't like to talk about it, but let's be real. No matter how long I've been in America, there is a slight disadvantage to you going to a meeting than I am, right? It's people have inherent biases. They want to work with a, white guy, from Arizona. Then who are you from India? Because that never goes away, right? So I'm just saying, not saying that it's that much easier, but there is an inherent bias there. So it's slightly harder, and I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I just don't want this to be over my head. So that's where I'm looking at next. Like, how can I eliminate that? Because then, I'm not worried about like, oh, I have to get so many projects every month or whatever, like, to make sure our
Yeah.
over cash flow is good or whatever.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, and then once that's not there, then it's like, oh, back to how it was. Because last year I genuinely, funny enough, I did the most amount of revenue last year, and I did not care for a single job of like worrying about like, do I
Yeah.
need it or not? Like, I was genuinely just doing what I loved. And obviously, I had a good support system, like you, so somewhere to take care of the kids. So I have the
Yeah.
schedule availability where you'd ask me, or anyone else would ask me, like,
Mhm.
"Hey, you want to go to Philadelphia? You want to go to Hollywood? You want to go here? You want to go, wherever, California?" And I'm like, "Let's just go." Like, I
let's
was
do
just
it.
saying yes to everything I was enjoying, and not one point did I take a job. I would say that I was like, I wish I'd not taken it or whatever. And I think somehow ended up being the most revenue. Like it's. And now this year I'm like, oh, I gotta make a certain number or whatever because I have expenses. And now it's like,
Yeah.
it was well, I mean it's good now, but I'm saying a couple of months I was like, it's strange because that brings the pressure where I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
gotta take jobs because I need to make sure that
Yeah. It's
bills
a
are
blessing and a
paid. Yeah,
curse. You know?
exactly. You get it. That's what I'm saying, and that's why it's good talking to you. The point of this was always to bring people, who are, from different lives and different paths because I want people to listen from a photographer or from a wedding videographer who
Mhm.
don't live the lifestyles we do, but you at least somewhat can relate to,
Yeah.
what I go through because it's
Yeah.
it's a different type of struggle. Do I love freelancing? Do I love going out and just doing a shoot with coming with nothing? Absolutely. But could my purchases support that? Probably not. But it was fun talking about that, hanging out
Yeah.
with you for 3 days. So you called me. I can't wait for people to watch. I hope that video is already out when they watch it. So I'm going to make a video, a vlog about that. So it may be already out, but it's funny. Like you reached out. So that clip is in there of, you hiring me. You reached out to me and I was like, something about you. You're like, hey, we can add another cam up over whatever. It's a lower rate, but do you know anyone? And I was like, yeah, I know this person and this person and this person. Then I was like, what are the times? I'm looking at the calendar. I was like, oh, I got this, this. And they're like, this time, this time, this time. I was like, you know what? I could probably move that here,
Yeah.
move that here, ignore this person. I'm just, I was like, I can make it. I was like, you know what? I could come. And I was like, did I just recommend to people and steal their work that they could have probably gotten? But I was like, hey, you're telling me I got to hang out. And I had to make sure. I was like, you're sure, right? Because I knew for a fact I couldn't have done it because we wanted to do the podcast, like bringing the equipment. And I was like, especially for that rate. But anyway, you were like, no, there's no equipment. I was like, you know
Nothing.
what? You're telling me, sure, absolutely, because I don't have to. I wake up, I go, I come back, and I still do the task that I had for the day. Why not? And to be honest, like I said, I was very a little bit in the beginning, but I had such a good time. I was like, you can't tell me
It was
you're paying
10
me
minutes
for
away.
that. Yeah, I know. Not even 10 minutes. Like, yeah, half
Ideal.
of that was just sitting at the traffic light.
Right. Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you took that. I mean, it's just a good reminder too. Like, it can be that easy sometimes. And, that one was great. Shout out to Mike for how well he planned it and produced it and directed it and everything. But yeah, it can just be that easy sometimes. And that's like vacation almost. Like
Yeah.
you can just kind of go, I mean, the most, we collaborated on like the lighting and
Yeah.
whatever because we like to do that. I like to get
Yeah.
your thoughts and just bounce ideas and whatnot. And how would we do this? How would we do that? But at the end of the day, if you wanted to just sit there and press record, like
Yeah, I mean,
that's all
like
you
I
were
said,
really supposed to do.
Yeah, I know, and again, I don't mind. I rather felt weird. That's what I'm saying. I'm so glad we did lighting because I mean, at most what I did was helped you with. Again, I don't want to discount it. It does take experience and stuff to know what to put light there, where. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I helped you basically come up with a lighting plan and execute on that, move some lights here, change them, whatever, and then hit record a few times. So not to discount much, but to be real, I was just saying, like, you're telling me people can get paid to do this, but like you said, there's the other side of it. It's what we do on our shoots where Mike had pre-production. He had figured everything out. He knew what shot when, and they had a plan of action. So it didn't just happen out of nothing.
Right,
Somebody
right.
did the work that we do on our shoots.
Yeah.
And also you came even an extra day to help them set up and everything. So like I said, it didn't happen out of nothing. But if you look at it from my perspective, I'm like, you're telling me I wake up, I show up literally like as
my
close
coffee,
as it gets
nothing else.
with my coffee, and I just help you with whatever you need. I mean, because at that point I'm like, I'm here, I'll do whatever, because I'm just why not? I'm not gonna be like, you hired me to be a cam op. I am not touching anything else.
Yeah.
To me, that's just a bad attitude. Anyway, I'm like, I'll help you. And then literally, they were so weird. I'm always the last person to leave from set, so I had to multiple takes. Like, I hope that didn't get annoying. I was like, so are you sure I can leave?
We're good?
Yeah. I was like, are you
done?
sure? You're like, yeah, you, and you're still like doing some things, and I'm like, I feel so weird
Yeah.
and bad, but then I'm like, hey, people do that to me, so I'm just going.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I just stayed back as the last one just to like because we were dumping cards and stuff like that. And, I was the DP on that. And I
Yeah.
do air quotes because it's like we all just collaborate
Yeah.
on the lighting at the end of the day. It's not like I have any, super directive say in how the lighting is going to be. We got a creative director there,
Yeah.
director, me, you. We always
Yeah.
have great input.
Yeah, there was enough people too. I'm saying yeah.
They're all going to chime in at the end of the day. So it's like the streak across the background. I was like, that would be great. Let's try that and see how it looks. And Mike
looked
actually
great, yeah.
texted me. He's like, I actually really liked that streak. I'm like, hey, I can do DP things.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, cool.
You can be a DP. Yeah.
So it's I don't know. It's funny. I always look at the DP job as like, or that title, I guess, as like, that's the person in control of the lighting. They're gonna tell you where every single light's gonna go, and
and you don't have to be exact. As a DP, it's mostly, and again, we work in smaller sets, so it's like you do everything. But typically, as a DP, you're expected to be in charge of the camera and lighting department. But you usually will have gaffers or other people to set them up. You can say, like, I want a streak there. You don't have to physically climb a ladder and actually set the light up. But on a small set, guess what we're doing? We're on a ladder.
Yeah.
We're fixing it. It's the nature of the job. And
which was fun because the things.
Yeah, that helped a lot.
That
it was automated, so usually you have to climb. There's a grid, so it's really nice to be in a place where we had automated. We could bring it down. We didn't have to climb unless we didn't want to. We did for I think the backlight or whatever. A couple of the spotlights that they had there. But no, that was a really fun experience. Thanks for having me. And it's funny for me. Most of the time, I'm like, every time I pull a phone out, I'm like, I'm trying to do this new vloggy thing. I'm still getting used to it, and then I'm just like, all the time I'm just like, look at that. That's the life. You're just on your phone. I'm like, every time you're on your phone, I'm just like, this is the clip. The entire video needs to just be a montage of this is how you get paid big bucks to be a DP, right?
God.
And it's just you on your phone.
What is it? What do they call it? The reaction video or the response video or whatever. Right here, defending myself.
Yeah.
Recording courses. So once it was set, it was just listen and monitor and just chill.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not saying you were doing anything wrong.
I
I
know.
was on my phone technically too. I'm not saying I wasn't, but I'm just saying it was funny.
I know.
That like every time I'm like pulling a clip, I'm like, there we go. This is the life you want.
I would say that goes to another nod to Mike and how well it was produced and directed and set up, and we had a setup day.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like the normal, like,
Mhm.
all right, here's your space. We have an hour until the first interview. What are we going to do? We had a whole day where there was 5 PAs building the set. I got to come in there, set up the cameras, get them roughly set.
Yeah.
Lighting was roughly set. We brought the subject in the next day. We still had an hour to set everything up, even though everything was on sticks, plugged into monitors, lights were on. Like, we still had another hour to like get that subject in there, get the mic in, just dial everything in. I'm like, dude, this is like so nice to have the time and the just the stress, the pressure of like a limited amount of time is just like not there.
Yeah, and I was surprised how it was. So
Great.
when you tell me training videos or courses or something like that, they're generally, what we did, which is the intro, outros, like bookends, whatever, and then some, B-roll, whatever. But I was surprised we didn't actually record the course. I was like, we were there the 3 days, and at no point did we actually record each. 'Cause they did the intro and outro, right, for each chapter. Like in this thing, you learned this, and this thing, you learned this. And I was like, when are we actually shooting the thing?
Yeah.
So I don't know how he planned. That was unique to me. I haven't not done one where we just did that, and we didn't do the actual course in that time.
I think they have it in an LMS, and they already have like the material in some
So it could be that
system.
they've already made that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then these are literally front and back end, maybe some transition stuff, and then the podcast interview type thing at the end was maybe supplemental content.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. This
is
is supplemental to something they either already have or going to do later. Because I was generally like, okay, that sounds good. When is the course? And then we were done with the 2 days, and I was like, oh, next day is this podcast style interview stuff. And I'm like, I don't remember doing the course, but hey, this is the agenda. I mean, we did everything we were supposed to. So that was very unique. But like you said, that goes on to, again, how well they pre-produced it, produced it, post-produced it. So I think, or will post-produce it. I think it comes down to is like how many avenues there are. Look, here we are talking about like our projects where, you have to come up with a guide to send them how to prepare their hospital for your visit or whatever. to come film, and then here you are, here you show up, set up a couple cameras, hit a record a few times, make sure the lighting is good. Again, you do some stuff, but mostly you sit there, right, after
Yeah.
you've executed what you needed to execute, because they do need that. I mean, it's
Right.
not like that it got executed out of nothing. But once you've set it up, it's there, it's ready to go. You just hit record until the setup needs changing.
Yep.
There's not much, that's expected of you. So I was just, I'm just saying that's another way to make money, because I didn't bring any equipment.
Yeah.
So if you just want to be a camera operator or a DP where you don't bring any equipment, which on this one I think you did bring some equipment.
Yeah, I brought gear.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's jobs out there where you can even be a DP without bringing anything,
Mhm.
and that's another path where we talk about cash flow. It's only coming in.
Yeah.
There's nothing to go out. It could be as simplified as that, and I think people just have to find their path. Yeah. And I have one gripe with you. I think we have time to go over that. Why do you hate me so much? Why is it that David goes with you on projects and you bring all the gear and he just shows up, in a backpack, like, there you go, I'm here. And then I come with you and I'm just like packing for a day. I'm bringing bags full of gear and I don't know. I mean, sure, you do give me a gear rental rate. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. I'm not complaining about the rate. I'm just complaining about why do I have to work extra hard than David?
That's, I do need to even it out a little bit. Glad we got you on this one. Wasn't my job, but
yeah. No, this was, to be real, this was a pretty chill one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
feel
I
like
gotta
you
make
go-
that guy work. I always
Yeah.
tell him, man, the rest of us gotta work.
Yeah, why
for
are you
our
not
money.
making him work? Exactly. David, work. I mean,
No, I'm just
Yeah.
messing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because you always have nicer gear, and
so owning a gear is a
you're
mistake.
you're very dialed with your equipment. So I always trust. Not that I don't trust David to bring it. It's just like, sometimes when I bring you, I need more gear than I have, right?
Mhm.
And sure, David has a camera or two as well, but
You can say it. No, say it. He doesn't have enough gear.
David needs more gear.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good
Yeah.
question. I don't know.
Yeah, he has no answer. He has admitted. He's making me work harder than David.
Now I got to think about
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm. You gotta go figure
We
it
got to
out.
figure out our game
Yeah.
plan, like I said, for the farm shoots.
Yeah.
I think I will bring most of the gear.
Look at that. Oh my goodness. We have made a change. I mean, to be real, I don't mind bringing the gear. I'm just kidding, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It feels like you make me work harder than David, but we'll keep it at that. But I do like gear. I do like bringing things that are dialed in, but that's good. Okay, so you're gonna bring all the gear. What am I bringing? Anything?
Yeah. I think maybe the tripods, if that's doable.
Couple of socklers.
Yeah, that might be nice to have those just for quick pop up and breakdown. You said you might want to bring the new camera, the new Ronin.
The Ronin 8K might be nice to have.
Yeah, and just thinking about how we did it last year, they're outdoor. I have a crew going out in California next week that's gonna, be shooting in an almond orchard. And
Why aren't we doing that? That sounds more fun.
I mean, truthfully, I just couldn't squeeze another travel in.
Yeah.
Like trying to keep this balance, work-life balance. It was like, no.
Yeah. No, almonds are pretty nice. But even we did last year, it was what? Watermelons? That was pretty fun. Yeah.
We were on one. Yeah, they were doing watermelons. The ones we're going out to this year will probably be, I'm guessing it's corn and soybeans out in Missouri, and then Florida will be more specialty crops like tomatoes and what else they might have. Stuff like that, specialty crops, fruits and tomatoes and little things like that. So it'll be a good variety. But yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna bring like diffusion and flags and stuff.
Oh, they are. Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
2-person crew, and they're gonna throw up a couple things like that to create some nice light out in the almond orchard. I don't know if we go that route this time or if we just kind of stick to what we did last time,
Mhm.
which the one that we did was in Delaware, and we were in that garage, which was a nice
Yeah.
pick on location because we put them on the edge of that.
Yeah. Rather, it was
shade.
interesting to me because we were expecting to have to cut light. Because we found that garage, we were having the opposite issue, not having enough light. Because, we wanted to throw a little bit, and you had your panel, but it wasn't bright enough. But then I saw how you and David did the next one. That was really cool, too, because you guys found a shady spot, but in
Yeah.
the farm. And then that made it easier when you don't have flags and
Yeah, yeah.
frames and whatever. Obviously, if you're not flying like the one we're driving to, we can bring that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier. But then you can also be strategic about where you place people, right?
Yeah.
If you find a spot that's not sunny or whatever shaded spot
The
would
other
be nice.
thing,
Yeah.
the other thing is too that you have to think about power.
Yep.
If we don't have wall power,
You got to
then
get a truck with a plug in it.
that would be nice.
Rental. But again.
That would be nice. Yeah, and then the one we drive to, I'll bring my little. I got one of those banks. What's that? EcoFlow.
Yeah.
EcoFlow.
Are you able to fly with that?
No. The one we
Oh, you're talking
drive
about
to.
the one drive. Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
Then that way we can drop in anywhere
Yeah.
and plug in, and run like a 300-watt light for which I don't know how much that would do for us out in the middle of a field, but.
Yeah.
Honestly, using the sun's probably our better call.
Yeah,
That's fine.
exactly.
We
Using
just
the
fold up some 5-in-1s and forget
Mhm.
about it.
Yeah. I mean, that is the easy way to go. But the good thing is the local one is be a lot easier because we can grab whatever we want. Like if you see I've got a 1500 watt or whatever power bank right there on the cart. So I'm saying there's ways to get power and
Actually, yeah.
monitors and cameras and whatever. Local, not that it's local. I mean, still a 4-hour drive away roughly. But the point
Yeah.
is it's a lot easier to grab more than when you travel.
Yeah.
Not that we couldn't, but we just have to deal with those big cases over there. That can be a hassle
Yeah.
too. So,
Well-
hey, here you go. This is how many people did we lose because we're having a pre-production meeting live on podcast. But this is how a pre-production meeting goes, right?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
only so much time in the day.
Basically,
guys.
he just tells me what I need to do, and I do it. There you go. That's
Basically,
how
I got slammed with a bunch of projects recently, and I'm trying to last minute make plans
Yeah.
for them. So
No,
That's
I
what
like
this
it.
is.
Like I said, I like going out to farms. That's pretty cool because, like I said, I like doing different things. I like going to different states. Plus, again, Minnesota. That's pretty nice. I think it just
Missouri.
Missouri. I don't know why I keep saying Minnesota.
Missouri sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, apparently they're having
Apparently
a heat wave.
it's, yeah. a
Yeah, so you're
nightmare.
gonna kill me from the heat. Yeah.
Yeah, bring
gotta
your
order.
cooling towel.
I need to order that, and I need to make sure I don't forget.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun, man. Like I said, I like actually doing what we do. Otherwise, again, I wouldn't do it.
It's always
the
an
whole-
adventure,
yeah.
man.
It's
always an
fun.
adventure.
Yeah, it's always cool to just hang out, create some great images, and again, tell great stories. Because
I have an answer for you now on why David doesn't bring much gear on the shoots that I bring it on.
Yeah.
I bring him on a lot of the veterinary ones.
Oh, where you don't
And
need much.
Where
Yeah.
I don't need much. I have my kit mostly dialed for those.
Mhm.
And we're working in such small spaces, you can't bring that much
Yeah.
anyways.
No, I had such a
So-
good time. The one I did.
Yeah, and then when I bring you, it's usually on something where I might be less comfortable in that environment or less my kit I may not think my kit is as dialed for any variability that might happen within this new environment. So I bring you for that comfort level of like, oh, he's got his gear totally, laser dialed in, and I don't have to worry about that. I can be more on the producer front. And I don't have to fail on the gear front here. And that too, if I have like a way heavier like
Mhm.
director producer type role to play, and then I want to
Yeah.
bring someone that's completely tight on their gear, and I'm not saying that David isn't. I'm just saying that I think is why it's looked that way, because it's a lot of the veterinary ones that he'll
Yeah.
travel with me, and honestly, that's because he's been to so many of them.
Yeah.
I like to keep the crew the same as much as possible.
No, absolutely. I liked having because the one you sent me to with him, it was so weird because it was just one suitcase, and I was like, "That's everything," and so it was a lot easier to travel versus these ones. I know at least last year we brought a lot more gear, so it's a lot more gear. No, I'll accept that. I think that's a fair answer, and I don't mind it. I'm just playing with you. I like
know, I
bringing
know.
gear. I like plus to me it's familiarity because the problem I have with a lot of other people's gear is like they cheap out on, and maybe I'm calling you out here, on the stuff that matters. Like you buy an FX3, you spend $4,000 on it. Then you'll buy a $200 monitor. It's not bright enough, and then you say, "Hey, go to this hot day in bright sunlight and expose it correctly." And I'm like, I can't see. Like how am I? I'm not a magician. Like I don't. If I can't see what I'm recording, how am I supposed to
Yeah.
expose it right? And that's not just you. I'm just saying a lot of people do that. They'll buy a very expensive camera, and then they'll cheap out on the memory card. And then it's like the memory card's running out and the interview's still going. I'm like, that's not on me.
Yeah.
And I'd rather bring my gear where I know I have the most largest memory card. I have cameras that are dialed in, the monitors that can actually get bright so I can see what I'm doing outdoors. Indoors, it's a lot easier because you don't need a expensive monitor.
Yeah.
But I'm saying those are the things I think people cheap out on is a good monitor, a good good memory cards and good sticks. So you're moving fast or things like that. Anyway, so that's why I see the point because it makes it a lot easier because I'm using a familiar gear.
Yeah,
and then there's less things for you to pack up and less for the things for you to worry about to go wrong. Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes availability, like there's going to be a lot coming up for everybody. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I want to get some new stuff too, like some different stuff going. I love the repeat stuff. I love, feeling like I know how to do this. The client's like, yeah, he knows how to do this. But getting into some different stuff will be fun. Like doing some more of the doc work with 6 Minutes to Live would be cool. Doing some, just like some of this other like tech company type stuff would be kind of fun to do. Trying to think about what else is kind of in my pipeline coming up.
So how are you finding these clients? So these are all repeat clients?
Yeah,
so-
most of them are. Yeah.
So how are you planning to find these new clients? What's your plan of action?
Great question.
Oh my goodness, did that caught you off guard? Like
No, it's
do something.
it's the question.
Yeah.
Everybody's one,
Yeah.
ask, a lot. Like I said last time, it's always networking, and I haven't done as much networking because I've been on my follow-ups and I've been on, actually working. So it's not been too good in terms of new business. A lot of the new business that I've had this year is freelance work. So, which I've enjoyed and I've gotten a lot better at, being a DP or a camera operator.
Sure.
But
we'll give it to him. Sure.
It's interesting.
Yeah. But so here's the thing. Last time that we met, you had done about 300 something, right? In your year, 350, I think was it close to? Yeah.
around there,
And
yeah.
you had said around 500 was your goal this
Yeah.
year. But we know you had a couple months slow, just like everyone. So do you
Yep.
still think you'll be able to trend to the number that you were aiming for, or is it's gonna be hard?
It's gonna be hard. We'll see. Like, things have really ramped up
Mhm.
the last month, and there's a lot of stuff that's gonna be put on the calendars. A lot of the clients that I was following up with, like fortunes in the follow up, is
Yeah.
what I always rings in my head. Like, just keep following up with them, not to be annoying, but like, in a reasonable
Yeah.
Cadence, and staying in mind and keeping track of those projects in my pipeline over the past from the beginning of the year. That stuff that was like not a complete no, we're scrapping this, but like a not right now type thing. All of that's coming out of the woodworking, and because I continued to follow up and stayed on them, now that they're halfway through the year and people are realizing, oh man, we gotta like use our marketing budget, we gotta invest in order to continue to grow or compete. That's all coming back. So that's what was your question?
You said you're gonna hit your target. Seems like you're
No,
not sure.
I'm not gonna hit my. It would take a lot to hit my target. It'd take a couple really big projects to hit my target. But where I'm at right now is on track with last year, but hoping for a solid second half of the year to achieve some level of growth on the year, and I will be very happy with that. My goal is at setting 500 wasn't you have to hit that or you failed. It
That was just a
aim
good goal,
pretty
yeah,
high.
yeah.
That's a pretty good growth. Like, especially the kind of like growth that I've seen over the past couple years since I moved to Florida. I can't expect my business to like double or grow 80% every single year. So setting it at 500 was a high aim, and if I can land where I was last year or a little bit higher, I'm not going to be mad about that.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely. That's the right way to look at it. Look, you have to set realistic goals, and I think your goal is very realistic when you set it, because we met beginning of the year, things were going very strong. Nobody could have predicted what's going to happen. things are doubling. Like I want to talk about some things. I was looking at some equipment. It's quite literally some of the stuff from China, especially originating from that, is like doubled in price. That wasn't even the tariff level, but I guess the companies are either taking advantage of it or
Yeah.
whatever. But like things are expensive. Costs are going up, and you have to then look at it and go, okay, like let's get realistic here. But at the same time, like we talked about, companies can only hold for so long. They have to do business. Their budgets are approved. They need
Right.
also to ramp up marketing, because when people spend less is when you need to actually do marketing to gain the little dollars that people are going to spend. So, like I said, now that's why both of us are just full of work, and I think that's because these companies have realized that hey, they need to come back and get back on the grind. Yeah.
And I think freelancers and small production companies are well positioned in that kind of environment because, if people are spending less and these companies are trying to fight for the little dollars that are out there with their audience or their consumer base, they're going to want to have a cost efficient option. And going directly with a small production company is going to be much more cost efficient than going through some big agency that maybe they normally work with. So it's almost positioned well for a slight, like slower economic environment, but
Yeah.
whatever. This is all speculation.
Yeah, exactly. We're not economic experts. We're video production experts. And the good thing is, yes, to lean to that. When it was slower, I did the best thing. I just leaned into like you said, existing clients, local clients, reaching out. Follow up is very important, and then being able to take on those jobs that normally, I would say, are small, where it's just me and an assistant, some post. There's so much profit in those projects. Yes, they're not large volume of projects, but you can charge 5 to 10 grand and you can pull in 50-60% profit, which is not normal for my bigger projects. Profits are only 20% roughly on average. So it's like, sure, the numbers are higher, so it matters. But here, the numbers may be lower, but the profit margin can be higher because all I need is one person to help me with.
Right.
And, they can take care of everything.
Yeah.
And 2-person projects are perfect for if you're trying to make money, So I think then leaning into, like you said, the smaller budget projects where, you need to be more nimble, you need to be more efficient. And at the end of the day, you just got to pass through that time until these projects have come back for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we go, anything else you want to touch on and talk about?
Not really. I mean, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
We went all over the place.
We went all over the place. I have no idea who's still listening or watching or anything. Mario's already asleep, right, Mario? Look at him.
I'm good,
Wake
I'm
up.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I'm the same way.
We'll have to-
So we can eat after this.
We'll have to touch base again in another 6
Yeah,
months or whatever.
that's
and
what
we'll
I
have
told
some more
David. We're gonna do the
stories.
same thing. So next time plan for you is to bring, since you both talk smack about each other, might as well. I'm just kidding.
We can beef it out.
Yeah,
in
we
Vettel's
need to.
garage.
Yeah, we need to bring it out and have you be in Studio B, and I think that'd be the way to do it. That'll be fun. I think. Let's see how that goes. It could go off the rails. This one I thought we went all over, but again, the whole point is for people to listen to from people who are in the grind. The truth is not to discount what you do. Yes, you have lazy shoot days like the 3 days we work together, but then you are working very hard to make sure you are running your company successfully. You're taking care of your family and you're taking care of your clients. You're giving them high quality projects.
Yeah.
So people there's a lot of value to be had there.
Even if it's an easy shoot day, I mean, I was still gone for 8-10 hours or whatever,
Mhm.
and in the evening I'm catching up on my emails and I'm queuing up these like proposals I got to put together,
Mhm.
and now this week I got to do all that work. So there is
Yeah.
no like
And that's
slow
why-
week.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's why I think there's a good balance. I think we talked about this, like being able to, like for me, like you're, being able to do on my own production. Sure, that's majority of the revenue, but I cannot always take on projects that we can do post. There's a limit to how much we can handle. So being able to throw days like what we did together are perfect, where it didn't add any more stress or work on Julie's plate or my plate, having to proposals. But then I was able to still, like you said, come back, follow up in emails, get this podcast set ready, or whatever I had to do. And it kind of worked out because, the those are the less stress days are good, so you can do the stress days. And I think it's good to have a healthy balance. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
Of and freelancing to your production company owner. At least I realized for me, I don't think I would go back to ever just being strictly a production company owner, because it was so much fun to just freelance for a few days here and there. You know, like I said, go with you and hang
great.
out, and then go back to being my production company. Like I said, I have my own shoot. Though you don't want to come to my shoots anymore. I tried to bring you on to at least 2-3 shoots recently. I was purposely trying. I even tried to take him to Chicago with me. The guy's just not available. So, you know, we had such a good time. You missed out. You missed out. You for
Reach
real.
out sooner, dude.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
I'm booking for 2026
yeah,
now.
2026. I don't even know what I'm booking for in 2026. Anyone want to hire video production company? Anyway, but no, I mean, so at least if you're not available for my shoots, I don't mind coming to your shoots. And
I want to be. We'll make it happen
Yeah,
at some point.
exactly.
I'll try to get somewhere. It's me, you, and David.
Yeah. That'd be
Hopefully,
fun.
just so we have some stories to tell.
Yeah, because it's been a long time. I think last time it was Jacksonville when it was all of us together.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a really good team in this shoot. So it's going to be Mario, Alex, Emmanuel, Andrew, and me, right? The 5 and Julie, 6 people. That's going to be a pretty fun shoot. He could have been a 7th, you know, good crew member. But hey, you're busy. You're doing your thing. So
I don't even know what I'm doing.
yeah,
But
you said some DP thing. Yeah.
on the 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Anyway, this has been another episode of Studio B Sessions. We had the ever boring Adam Kalinowski with us. Thank you. Thank you. What's your name? Mario for making this happen. Okay. Thank you, Mario, for
thank
making
you.
this
Sick
happen.
outro,
had
dude.
fun.
Thanks.
Bye.
Until we see you next time, we will bring it back to normal. All right. See ya.